Moorish sovereign citizens. There ain't no such thing as a sovereign citizen. I'm about to show y'all that right now. So first thing is Valentine's Dictionary. See, I got bro right here. Yeah. So first thing of the day is
share out
Valentine's Law Dictionary. We're gonna see if there's a such thing as a sovereign citizen. It's not. There's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. I'm waiting on her right now to pop on it.
Sovereign citizen.
Raina, peace.
My bad,
peace and love to all the Moors that's out there.
My bad.
So you know, one of the Moor Bitises had hit me up.
My bad.
And they was like, yeah, Khadijah had hit me up. So she like, man, somebody out there talking crazy about the Moors. Whole time, it turned out to be some European. Yes, sir. Are we live on YouTube? My brother Cujo right there.
Yeah.
You know, so we waiting on her right now. I told her I was going to be on here about 2, so I hit her back and told her it was like 3. So we here as usual. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we out here. We everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So look, take this off here. Show y'all the same thing that I see. Oh, she does. If she doesn't show, still school her, no doubt. All Albion's getting crashed, man. If they not respecting the law, they getting crashed. Valentine's Law Dictionary, 3rd edition. So whether she show up or she don't show up, you know, she's an attorney, so I don't trust attorneys because attorneys means to turn over your rights to the corporation.
Facts.
So let's look up.
Facts.
Let's look up in the S section. So you can see this ain't me and bro words. We looking up in the S section. This is where we at. See, all magistrates, all de facto judges, they have this information. The problem is, this is Valentine's 3rd edition law dictionary. They have this information. The problem and the solution is our people got to get this information. The problem and the solution right there. So I hope y'all feeling good because we sure finna beam off some energy. Sovereign. And if you're not feeling good, hopefully this will make you feel better. Because then bro finna beam off. She's in. Okay, where she at? Hit the request button. Hit the request button. Hit the request button. As you see, we in the S section, right? See sovereign. See sovereign, right? Let's go down to sovereign. See sovereign? Let's see if you see sovereign citizen. Oh, we already passed the C. We already passed it. There is no sovereign citizen. You got to hit the button. You got to hit the button. Claire White, you got to hit the button. You got to hit the button. Hit the request button. There's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. There's a such thing as a sovereign people. And remember, Valentine's Law Dictionary. See that? Valentine's Law Dictionary. Bro got the American Heritage College Dictionary. So,
ain't no such thing as a sovereign citizen.
Say that again, bro.
Ain't no such thing as a sovereign citizen.
No such thing as a sovereign citizen.
You smarter than the dictionary?
Do you read the dictionary? Have you ever picked up a dictionary? Okay.
You smarter than the dictionary?
We're finna bring you on here. Let's bring you on here right now. Let's bring you on here right now.
Can you hear me?
What's up?
Can you hear me? Sometimes my Wi-Fi's bad where I'm at. Are you?
Yeah, she made it, GS.
She made it.
I can hear you.
She made it. Let's go.
So, Colin, so for the record, you're an attorney?
I'm a lawyer, yes. I'm an attorney.
Okay, you attorney. Okay. So have you ever heard of anything called color of law?
Called the color of law? Yes, I have.
Color of law. Now, would you like to share what colorable means in law?
What colorable means? It means like definable, recognizable, under the power of. That's what color of law means.
Color of law. Now, you got to be real distinctive when you say that. You got your Black's Law Dictionary on?
I have it out? No. I'm in the Caribbean. I don't have my Black's Law Dictionary with
Oh,
me.
she's partying.
Don't worry about it. We got the law dictionaries on deck. You got
I have it. I saw you have it there.
yeah, we got it on deck. So look up colorable real quick. So for the people that don't know what colorable is, colorable means counterfeit. They're specifically addressing so-called African Americans when you talk about colorable. This is how the system, the de facto color of law, it works and operates. But you know that though, because you're an attorney.
You're gonna text me about that.
Okay, no doubt. We're about to do right now. Look up colorable. G. Thanks,
Well,
Benjo.
if you don't mind, I wanted to clarify. Earlier, you had, at least the way I heard it described, is that I was talking, I don't know, scandalous propaganda about the Moors. That wasn't my intent. I can clarify.
Okay.
Just back it up now.
You hear that shit? Get me up. I'm about to go take a shower now.
Right. For
You
not
see that?
us having dialogue, but this is also for the Moors who think that they're so-called black people
Or African
or
American.
African American. Okay, so when you're looking up colored, all right, now
Yo, you see that green shit?
Yep.
Don't nobody want no problems with y'all, Moorish.
all attorneys, they have this information. So when you look up colored, by common usage in America, pay attention. This term, you can know what the word term means. Term means something fixed for duration. It's not a designated identity. Okay. In such phrases as quote unquote colored persons, the colored race, colored men and women, African Americans, and the like, is used to designate Negroes or persons of the African race, including all persons of mixed blood descended from Negro ancestry, right? Now,
Yeah, so I know colored. My husband was a proponent of the one-drop rule. I'm familiar with what colored means in the law and in regular language. You know, I hear that.
okay, so when you're looking up color, this is how it plays until our people, Moors, who are misidentified and misclassified as so-called African Americans. Okay, because that is not a political identity that is recognized internationally on any platform.
Or Negro.
Or Negro. So when you say the word, when you say you're a colored person. You see common uses in America? You see, it has also been held that there is no
2 times for your boy.
definition to the phrase colored person, which the courts are bound judicially to know. So what does that mean?
You done inspired me. I'm going back for round 2.
You know what I mean? Are you saying that people of color or people of color don't have some kind
You know, I don't need much inspiration.
of all kinds of carve-outs that specify race, color, nationality, and ethnicity? So
But that's the thing. See, that's the thing, though.
It's the same thing with African American.
Here's my chart.
They're,
See,
not,
when you-
they're not recognized by law.
I'm not here to challenge your definition of who you are. You know what I mean? Like we just having
It's
dialogue.
dialogue. It's the bill.
Yeah, we just dialoguing right now,
building.
so this is not confrontational. It's not about confrontational. It's about dialogue, and it's about getting the truth out.
So, man, can I ask you a question?
What's your nationality? You know I know how the Moors get.
I'm American. I guess is the closest
Yeah.
thing I
I
can
know.
Look it up.
Okay, but you're not
You
American.
Brazilian?
Where are your ancestors from?
What is she, Brazilian?
That's what you're getting at. I'm Irish, Polish. I'm mostly Irish.
Okay.
Well, you're not American.
Okay, American. If you look up the term, you got the other book on you.
Yeah.
American are Aboriginal, indigenous to the land.
Yeah.
That's an American.
My people aren't from
All the way
here.
down to your forefathers.
Right. They were brought over here. Right. But then you bring up,
They was brought over here.
like I said, this is not about challenging. This is about bringing the truth out. All right. So when you got that, let me show this while you got that. See, when you say that you're an American, that's actually called birthright death. Hold up. See, this kind of information has to.
You didn't deny it.
My birth.
Okay,
That's
look.
why we ask you your nationality.
Check this out. When we talking about nationality, we talking about somebody being Jew sanguineous to the land. In order for you to be an American, you have to be an Aboriginal indigenous descent, which means you're Jews sanguineous to the land, the Americas. You said
Yeah,
that
you
you're
see the chat, Gracie?
Polish, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
Yo, slow down, man. Wait for me, man. I'm coming.
indigenous to this land. So by them claiming, or by a European claiming to be an American, that is considered birthright there. See, we got to put that up there for the record.
So like as a lawyer, you know what I'm saying, I operate within the system of what the laws are as they're written now. And the way as they're written now recognize
Opinion as it's
citizenship
written now.
as an important like characteristic of defining. And so for me, I'm a citizen of the United States of America. Like that's what my passport says. That's what the laws call
So
me.
you're United States
So
here.
that's what they call me. I can get with you that I have no birthright to this land I'm on. I recognize I'm on stolen land. You know what I mean? And you know,
So you recognize that your people are colonizers, right?
what's that?
You recognize your people as colonizers, right?
Oh yeah, I recognize that. I know we
What's
have
Oh, okay.
but like you're not going to find
Okay.
disagreement with me on that.
Yeah.
Yo, how does this tie us into law, Grand Sheet? With her admitting that and that genocide, and
You got to crack these law books open.
she works for that.
Is that quality of character, which arises from the fact of a person's belonging to a nation or
They're
state.
admitting genocide.
Nationality determines the
Birthright.
political status of the individual, especially with reference to allegiance. See, it also, while domicile determines his or her political status, nationality arises either by birth or naturalization. So this is the crucial key where our people, Moors, who are misclassified as Negro or Black, have to come out of the illusion and come into fruition when it means to know who you are. What you would say, Europeans, you are from Europe.
Immigrant.
So by you being over here in the Americas, this is where the nationality comes in. You got that pamphlet about the nation, citizen? Was the nation where it's breaking down all four?
Right here.
Nah, I'm talking about the other one on the other pamphlet. This is why the nationality is so. This is why the nationality is so.
Talking about status.
So it's not about you being per se European. It's about in law. This is law, right? The rights that come with nationality. Okay,
Right.
so
Law doesn't think that I'm Irish. Right? States. I don't know where you're from like that. If you were born here or you were naturalized here through the legal process, then it says that you're a citizen of the United States too. Whether you like it or not, you like it.
Nah, see that's the thing. See that's the thing though. We're not citizens. This is
Laws are in that country. I was gonna say here.
okay.
That's not where
This is all right. This is who we are.
Moors. Break it down to you.
I'm gonna break it down straight to you. There are 4 types of citizenship. You have a national, which is the highest rank of citizenship. The natural people of the land, the Aboriginal and indigenous people. That will be us, Moorish Americans. Okay. Then you have this is sovereign right here. This is sovereign. Okay. Then you have a citizen. The naturalized citizens, not naturalized, but not nationalized. There's a difference between somebody naturalized and you have somebody who's nationalized. Okay. You said earlier about how you were naturalized, but you're not naturalized. Okay, you have to.
That's the way that someone becomes naturalized. I was declared a citizen at birth because that's what the laws of this country say. Right?
Okay,
like,
nationalized.
Political definitions, and the point I was making, especially in my post,
She gotta be told that United States don't make any laws.
But
The United States is Walmart, so she can know whatever she believing in is Walmart thinking.
They're providing law, and with guns, they're willing to enforce that shit, and they put people in cages over it. And so, educate the people about what those laws are about sophistication.
You see, but see, this is the thing right here. This is the thing right here. that we got to get into. Okay, this book right here, it's called The Slave Shall Serve. Okay, this is Meditations on Liberty. So we're talking about law. The supreme law of the land is the Constitution. This document right here. This Constitution for the Republic. Okay? So we got to go to Article 4, Section 4 of this particular document, which states, the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government. So that is a master key when it comes to knowing, first of all, you got to know what kind of government you're in. You know what I'm saying? You have to know what kind of government you're not in a democracy. They try to bring color. That's why I said about color, because color of authority. You said about guns and all that, right? You know, you just said that.
Enforcement of laws. Like, look, keep it real with you. I think that the Constitution is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's only in place until someone else writes.
It's coming from a lawyer.
You know,
but that's not. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's an opinion.
If y'all don't believe that the United States government is legitimate, which I don't, then why are we letting ourselves in the protections of paperwork that they wrote? Like, that's bullshit. Don't follow those promises. You know what I'm saying? They don't hold to them. You know, it's whatever the people who have the most guns and power say it is. And
but see, that's the illusion. That's not true. That's the illusion about color of law. See, when you come into the Constitution,
she just basically described color of law.
And you have people that's incompetent that's saying that they're sitting in the seats. You have something called a de jure form of government, and you have a de facto form of government. So the de jure form of government is the Constitution for the Republic. Then you have, after 1871 with the coup, then you have the de facto coming into in the name of the Constitution. That's when you have the United States of, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, Green Sheet.
1933.
That's
Yo, you hear this lady? You hear this lady?
Going to the documents, you got to go straight to the law, because this Constitution was adopted.
She's a lawyer. She's telling you the Constitution is BS.
Before the adoption.
That's them. That's their people.
That means the Constitution was adopted by Moors.
She knows that, and she said it. She said she knows the government is some BS.
every single day.
So how can she say?
Subject to the law that they go to prison often. You know what I mean? I mean, like, I hear your political
Or now. You just said it. You just said it.
Of history, and I'm not opposed to it. But what I do today, how people's lives are impacted by what the law says and what it does. Right?
Okay, you know
what it says and does right now is if people go in there and they're talking about these treaties from 300 years ago, then usually they're forcibly medicated. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. I'm talking about what liberates people now, and I'm here for that guidance. I think that you answer to that, and not
so. Hold on.
About what this
Okay, so check this out. What it will do is this right here. First of all, we got to talk about. First of all, this is what happened. You said you're a criminal attorney, so you're a criminal attorney. Then you know the difference between somebody who's a natural person versus somebody who's a corporation, a 14% amendment citizen. Okay, that
the natural persons, yes.
Right. So if somebody, you said you go to the courtrooms, so somebody that's going into a courtroom, they're not coming to a natural person status. Status is key.
No, false.
Yes, status.
I've been reading a lot about. I've been trying to educate myself as much as possible, and I understand the internet is probably very biased against the beliefs that you have. You know, but I've been doing.
Hold on, wait. These are not beliefs. I don't even want to get that in the ethers. These are not beliefs. This is law. This right here is law. Do you see this right here? This is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. All right. This is not a belief system. I don't even want to put that. Universal Declaration of Human Rights. All right. So this is not a belief. This is the document that Obama signed when he was in office. Okay. So we got to kill a belief. We got to kill that belief.
I watched.
See this Article 15, Section 1 and 2. This is a key.
Like, why do we care that Obama signed anything if we think the United States government has no power over us? That seems like a fundamental contradiction, right?
Right, but so you got right, but you got
their laws. Then why the fuck do we care? Excuse me, I don't mean to curse on your live. Why do we care that Obama signed some document?
Talk your shit. But see, again, we have to go back. We have to go back to law. What you're talking about is the de facto. Like I said, pretty much since 1789. After that, you had a de facto form of government. So people don't realize that the government that we're in right now is supposed to be a republic. That's what the Americas is founded.
Government? Is that what your point is? Like, what? I don't understand where we're getting. I'm here for the history lesson. I was more patient for it when my husband used to give them to me. I hear you. But like, what I'm here for is the kids today in cages. Like, what liberates, and I know that Moorish people today, right? And
okay.
This interpretation from 1787, I just don't see how that liberates folks, and I'm here to hear about it. I'm not here to
I gotta talk back to nationality.
You know what's gotta happen? This has gotta happen. The enforcement of law.
That just means she don't study. All she's saying is she don't study.
We are suffering right now because we have who are not coming into the fold of
all she's saying is she don't study. A bunch of opinion.
Friendship. So when I say these documents right here will change things up today, you see this right here? The Treaty of Peace and Friendship.
That's a real document.
Okay, so when you ask like, and you say things like,
Trump just said it the other day.
Like, if you really standing for the
first
law,
people to recognize,
you have an obligation to protect the Constitution. You have an obligation to the Constitution.
Yo, yes, she's contradicting herself too. Every time she's saying, "Well, I'm just going by the laws today." Well, you can't say that and be like, "United States government is some BS."
That's another illusion. That's another lie. The Constitution can never be changed.
Since when? What treaties did they abide? They're fucking criminals. They're murderers.
Yeah, they are criminals. Right? But see, that's what
you got to be focused against.
For the law, I don't.
Okay, but see that's the thing though. I'm gonna give it to you right now. Check it out.
No good. Like they've said that over and over and over again. That treaty is no good.
No, like, it is. It is good.
That's not a thing anymore.
See, it is good. I'm finna educate you right now. The treaties are never going to end. That's the longest standing treaty in the land. But see, the thing is, what you got to understand is, what you probably already know. Check it out.
Treaty got you.
Everyone, why do you think? Okay, so why do you think this is in this document? Everyone has the right to a nationality. You think that's in there for a coincidence?
No.
You see that right there?
Right to nationality. You know what? I watched a video about yours earlier about that, and that's a super relevant issue, right? For the Uyghurs, for the Kurds, like for the Palestinians, there are people all over the world who are entitled to nationality. For Moorish people in America, right? They're entitled to nationality, and I get why United States of America maybe ain't it. But like, and yes, it's creative legal challenges to get it, you know, but that doesn't hold weight in where these fucking kids' lives are on the line in the moment in criminal court.
You know why? You know,
because you keep calling them kids.
You know why? Because nationality is the solution. Now, if you come into a de facto, first of all, we got to go right here. Okay, we got to go right here. This Constitution, this is called the Supremacy Clause. I already know you already know this because you say you're a criminal defense attorney, so you're very familiar with this right here. So if you don't recognize, okay. So if you don't recognize it, that means you're playing games.
I know it.
This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties, you see that? All treaties made, or which shall be made, under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land. Yep, and the judges, hold up, check it out. Hold on, check it out. And the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or the laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. So what does that mean? What was your name again?
Claire White, like the color.
Okay, Claire. You know, you say, when you hear that information, now you said you want to have remedies, right? You said remedies for the youth?
Yes.
So the remedies, okay. So the remedies for the youth are very,
Yeah,
very, they're not complex.
Yeah, I gotta call you right back.
All right, yeah, no worries.
Attorneys don't bring up the fact of color of law. Now I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
What does color of law mean?
Color of law means counterfeit. Color of law.
Color of law does not mean counterfeit.
Yes, it does.
Under the authority of the law. That's what color of law means.
That's not. You got it right there. Check it out.
Color of law, like with the cloaked in the authority of the law.
Check this out.
That means.
Okay, check this out. Check this out, Clark.
About what it should mean, but I'm telling you what it does mean in the actual court.
Okay, hold up, Claire. Check this out. We're gonna hit you with some facts. Color of law is the appearance or semblance without the substance of legal rights. That's what color of law means.
Of the law, right? It's not the actual cop. It's the person who's acting like a cop.
The actual law.
No, it's not the actual law.
It's not the actual law.
You see, that's
the cop is acting
it's the appearance of the law. Hold up.
Authority. That's what color of law means.
Right. What you just said? You just said color of authority, right?
Color of law. You're acting with the color.
Okay, now check this out. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Hold that thought right there, because we building right now. So I'm glad you're saying what you're saying. Right. I'm glad you're saying what you're saying, so people can hear what's really going on, and you can have answers to a lot of things that's being put out versus just hearing something called hearsay. All right. So you see something like this. You see this right here? It's color. First you gotta identify. Hold up. First you gotta identify what's color. Color is an appearance, a semblance or simulacrum, as distinguished from that which is real. So if you anything, right. So if anything at that point is based off color, that means it's counterfeit. It's all fraud. It's counterfeit.
No, it's the perception of it.
No, it's no perception.
The opposite of what you're saying. Hold on. Can I let me weigh in
Go
for
ahead.
just a second?
Go ahead, weigh in.
I'm going on to, but that's not what the law interprets it.
It's not about interpretation. The law is very specific.
It's sent to prison is based on the judge's interpretation.
No, that's not the law.
It matters.
Okay, I'm educating you, and we having a dialogue. This ain't nothing disrespectful. This just got to be a positive.
I'm a white woman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But see, that's the thing, though. You're not white either. See, that's the thing. You're not white.
Okay.
White. Okay, check it out.
Look it up.
White is a
Look
legal
it up.
status.
Who called it?
You wanted answers,
Was
right?
that Brother Is?
White.
Brother Is, was that you that
Okay.
called it?
We're
Look
gonna
up
show
free
you the
white
answers
person.
right now. Now let's go. Hold that thought about color. Now we're gonna fast forward right here. We're gonna fast forward to something in law called a free white person. Now remember, this is not my words. This is not Cush Day's words. This is not Santiago L's word. This is the law dictionary. Okay. Now I'm sure you got about 5 or 6 of these in your domicile, right? Or the court.
Married to my domicile?
Yeah. I know you got lots of them. I know you got lots of them. We got lots of them too. So check it out.
No, good. That's
okay. So check it out.
I am is to help educate. To pull people out of cages, but also
no doubt.
To educate about the law.
Okay, no doubt.
Armed with that information.
Right. So this information gets out. Okay, that's the whole purpose about uplifting fallen humanity. Okay. Okay, no doubt. So a free white person. Okay, we go right here. You see that naturalization? Okay, that was an amendment in 1870. Okay, so we go down here to who are the free white persons. It includes all European Jews, more or less intermixed with people of Celtic. Those are Moors, Scandinavians, Teutonic, Iberian, Latin, Greek. Yes, those you have. Yes, you have Celtic Moors, you have Teutonic Moors, you have Iberian Moors. Okay, and the Slavics. Okay, Slavic descent. It includes the Magyars, Latin.
That's me too, I guess.
Okay, nah. It's not. Hold up. Check it out. We're going to wait for this definition. Check it out. It includes the Magars, Laps, and the Finns, and the Basques and Albanians. It includes the mixed Celtic Iberian. Told you, see that? Celtic Iberian, those are Moors. And Moorish inhabitants of Spain and Portugal. Now, you know, I don't know if you do know or not, but over here, down towards the Louisiana area, that was called Spain.
I'm familiar with that.
Okay, and Portugal. The mixed Greek. Hold up, check it out. Hold up, Claire, check it out. It says the mixed Greek, Latin, and Phoenician and North African inhabitants of Sicily, and the mixed Slav and Tartar inhabitants of South Russia. It does not mean the Caucasian race, Aryan race, or Indo-European races, nor the mixed Indo-European, Dravidian, Semitic, or Mongolian peoples who inhabit Persia. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm with you.
Okay, right. We building right now.
We're building.
Exactly. That's what it's about. It's about building.
Through it a little bit. I'm doing my best. I know that I'm.
Nah, it's all love because we build it. This is what it's all about. So when you talk about remedies for people that's locked up, you said in cages. The remedies that our people have to know is the law of the land. This has to be known.
I agree.
I think right. So when our people go ahead.
I'm not even asking people to follow it. That's where I think people get me confused. Is I'm not saying follow the law of the land. I'm not saying the law of the land is right or immoral. I didn't write it. You know what I'm saying? I spend every day of my life fighting it.
Right.
That I understand that knowing it is critically important, and assuming that you're exempt from it is very dangerous, which is why I posted what I posted. Because I think that I watched a lot of your videos after we had our and I think that you and I agree more than you may know, which is understandable. I don't appear like someone who may agree with much of what you preach. But what I do understand is that there are people who maybe don't fully understand all the way your message, and they think that they are exempt from U.S. laws because of X, Y, and Z, and they think that means people can't search their cars, and they think that means they can shout out loud to the judge, and they don't need a lawyer, and they shouldn't have a lawyer, and it ends up fucking them in a very serious way, and they end up in a cage.
Right.
Okay.
Now, to add on to what you're saying, to get some clarity with that, the people who choose to have a title like black, because that, again, now you remember we were just talking about color, right? How color means the semblance.
Apologetically black. That was his message.
Okay. Right. So when you speaking about color, we got to go back to the law. When you use the word color to identify yourself, you're automatically putting yourself in a caste system called chattel property slavery. Okay, that is why we are never right. That is why black was put on our people in 1779 in Philadelphia. So we have that's because our nationality was stripped at that time, and then you had something introduced called the Christian Black Codes. Okay, so when you bring up things like remedy and solutions, you have to bring in everything 360 degrees for solutions. Okay, so we go to the Divine Warning by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He was such a great man. This is what he said, Claire. Check it out. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said this. He said, "You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those that know law in the city hall and among the officials in your government, and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will be glad to render you a favorable reply, for they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness into the light." You see that?
He prophesied us.
And that's what's happening right now, because you have the information highway that is being beamed out. You see how the sun came out? You see how the sun just came out? Right. You see how the sun just came out when I read that? You see that, right? Right.
The white women are coming here to have this conversation, especially not a lot of white people. Can I tell you something directly from my heart? It's that it hurts me to hear you gentlemen. I watched a lot of your videos today. That's what I spent some time doing after we had our exchange. I wanted to hear what you have to say. That's my I don't think that I have the answer. So I watched some of your videos, and one of them talked very extensively about how you don't need a lawyer and how you should represent yourself. And that should hurt me, you know what I mean? Because I agree with you that people should be educated about the law. They should engage in their own defense. But often the way I talk about it is that, like, if you're a brain surgeon and you need brain surgery, you don't do brain surgery on yourself. Even if you're the best fucking brain surgeon in the country, you know what I mean? Like, you hire another brain surgeon and you engage in the process and you let them do that shit. I would hire my own.
No excuse.
It's not. It feels like you gentlemen make it either you're ignorant and you ignore it, you hand it over to some lawyer, or you do it yourself. But like,
check it out.
16, they just robbed the fucking store and shot up a bunch of people. They have trauma, mental health issues. Like, they're not going to get stuck up quick enough on the law to be able to represent themselves in front of this white man's court in a way that's going to save their life. You know.
Okay, but see, this is what got to happen though, Claire. We got to start being real, okay? Like I see what you're saying, but we got to start being honest, because ignorance of the law is no excuse. As you see right here, this right here, ignorance of or a law, which everyone is bound to know, excuses no man or woman. So when somebody is ignorant in the law or has ignorance, that is a want or absence of knowledge. Knowledge is the key. So when you're speaking about remedies, you have to be in a multi-level mindset of knowledge. You can't just come in there talking about, well, you a white, that's a white man. You're not white. As we just went over free white persons, you are considered an Albion.
And I feel it.
And you're not an American.
That term, someone used that term earlier. I Googled it, I couldn't even find it.
And I feel you.
But you educate me about that.
And Albion, hold up, we could go. Albion.
I tried to read about it.
Okay. Go ahead, talk to me.
I feel you, because a lot of this shit that's going on right now, we get indoctrinated. We don't know the law. So that's what we should be learning. We should be learning the law. But a lot of our people, the schools and stuff, they're not teaching us laws. They're not teaching us economics. They're not teaching us a lot of stuff. But you still can't be ignorant of the law. What Thomas Jefferson say? He said, you can't be free and ignorant, right? That's in the Constitution. That's in the Declaration of Independence. You can just go get it. You can get a Constitution and read that.
I just don't know why gives a fuck about the Constitution.
Because the Constitution, you know why? You know why? Okay, you know.
It wasn't for Moorish people. It wasn't for us.
Right, but see, hold up.
And the slaveholding white men wrote.
Okay, hold up. When you say
I'm in court with people who are facing the consequences of the full force and power of the United States government coming down on them. But y'all are revolutionary thinkers. So why are you talking about that fucking whack-ass document?
Because the document is adopted from Moorish law. You see?
Muslim law.
Hold up. Right. It's adopted from Muslim law. Moors are the ones who created. You just saw when I read Article 6, the Supremacy Clause. It is adopted. So since, hold up, Claire. Hit me out. Hit me and go out. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Of course, you're the beginning of all things. I'm not losing track of what you're saying.
For sure. That's what's up. Okay, so check it out. So when you say that document is actually an organic document. It's a universal document. This is an international document that's intertwined with all the treaties.
That's what you're talking about?
Right. But see, when you say U.S., you have to clarify what you're saying. See, when you say the U.S. Constitution, that's not specific. You have to say the United States Constitution for the Republic, not of, for. See, when you say for, then you're becoming organic. You should look up the letter to Obama. You should look up the letter to Obama, the Pope's letter to Obama. Check that out when you got some free time. Check that document out that the Pope sent Obama. Because you have to make a clear distinction. When you say of, you're going into the corporation, like the city of Chicago. Where you from?
Give a fuck about this. This is what hurts me here, gentlemen.
But see, that's the thing. But see, that's the thing, though.
Judge is supposed to be impartial.
That's
right?
the thing, though.
The world that brings.
Hold up.
Science is where young black men.
That's no.
1787 doesn't liberate them. You know, like.
Allah's the greatest.
Next way forward. It hurts me to even sit and argue these stupid American legal principles with you because that's old shit. That's not.
But see this, okay, but see, okay, let's dissect what you've been saying, right? Let's dissect what you've been saying. Okay, first of all, the supreme law of the land is the Constitution. Okay, that is Article 6. That's number one. Number two. Well, first of all, let's go back before that. That's just to clarify that. The problems right now is attorneys are officers of the court. And you already know, right? You already know that. So since attorneys, right. So when a person, why do you think it goes like this? You already know what I'm finna say, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. So when somebody gets unlawfully detained or arrested, either via a Title 18, subsection 241, deprivation of rights under color of law, you know what that is. Okay. So when you're getting, right. So when you're getting unlawfully detained, arrested, or detained, that right automatically right there is a direct violation of law. Then you can go to Title 18, right? Title 18, subsection 242. That is a conspiracy of two people among someone's rights, human rights. Okay, we're talking about human rights. We're not dealing with civil rights. We're talking about human rights. You familiar with human rights?
Yes.
Okay. The whole bullshit argument is attorneys who know this information, and you said judges. Judges, unless they're in Article 3, judge, they don't have authority. They don't have jurisdiction.
I hear you say that, but guess what they do every day? They put people in prison, and those people, those real people, they go into a cage.
You know why they go into a cage?
I can agree with you. Who the fuck has authority to put another human being in a cage? I agree with you. But
exactly.
They do that shit.
You know why they do that? You know why they do that?
They
do that because they don't know law. Check it out. Check it out, Claire.
No laws because we let them. The law says they can do it.
Nah, hold up. Okay, hold up.
People with the guns and the most ruthless among us, that's whose interpretation wins out.
But see, that's the thing, though.
They're more reasonable. Their interpretation wins.
Okay, but check it out. We got to get clarity on that because you cannot interpret the law. The law is the law, period.
It's a matter of fact.
It's facts and it's true. Hold up.
Past meetings. You act like you ain't been in court. Maybe you haven't been in court.
I've been in court. But see, that's the thing, though. Right, but see, that's the thing, though. Oh, let me show you this. Let me show you this real quick. Hold that thought that you got right there in your head. Okay, you said about the courts. So you have to go to Article 3, Section 1 and 2. You familiar with this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, check it out. Okay. Now, we talking about remedies for Moors that misclassify themselves as blacks, right? Colors. Section 1. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court. You hear that? And in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain or establish. Right. The judges, both supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall at stated times at stated times receive their services, all right, compensation, which shall not be diminished during the continuation or the continuance in office. Okay, so you see, just to break Article 3 down, you talk about remedy. So if the power is solely vested in the Supreme Court and not inferior courts, our people should not be going to inferior courts because they're, first of all, they're not lawful.
And when they're, but they do. Yes, I agree.
You know why they do? Okay, you know,
wrote that shit are a bunch of fucking liars.
Yeah, they liars. But yeah, they liars. But look, yeah, they liars. But look, check this out. Check this out, Claire.
Don't follow their own rules. It's bullshit.
Okay.
Shovel way into slavery. Yeah.
Exactly. So check this out. See that? Police, policy. Where you at? Okay, a judge. Check it out. Right here. We're gonna go right there. All right. A judge's first oath, bound obligation. Now we're gonna right here. This is where we at. Can you see it? Because it's kind of IG be tweaking. See that right there?
We going with the oath.
A judge's first oath, bound obligation, is to uphold and to support the Constitution. Okay, did you see that right there? A judge's first oath, bound obligation, is to uphold and to support the Constitution, which is the
and it's
right,
one of
right.
Not the most, but one of
exactly. Exactly. So when you look at that right there, you see the violations right there.
Don't change.
See, it does not change.
They're weirdos. Yes, the men in black robes.
Yeah, they crooks.
Yeah, they crooks.
They crooks.
Yeah, they crooks. But see,
they supposed to be representing the people though.
Yes.
They don't represent us.
No, they're not representing the people though. They breaking their oath.
Because you come into the conclusion that they're all a fraud, a de facto. Just like, see, attorneys are different from a jurist. You familiar with that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Attorneys are not jurists. A jurist is someone who's an expert in law. Now, an attorney is someone that turns over.
Jurist is a juror or a deciding fact. He's a judge. That's what jurist means.
That's not a jurist. That's not a jurist. Let me pull it up for you. Let me pull it up for the people that see the live. Actually, what a jurist is. Okay, you got your common law handbook on?
What?
You got your common law handbook?
The common law is written for the current law, but that is not the current law of the United States courts.
But see, that's the thing though. But see, that's the thing though. There is no current law. Law is specific.
9 million laws. Like, see this one? We do that as lawyers. We do that. It's really creative. But like what actually happens in the courtroom, you know.
Because it's not a lawful court.
Because it's a white supremacist capitalist court. That's why.
No.
They're not there.
Okay, hold up. When it comes, that right there, that's a theory. When it comes to a quote unquote white supremacy, that is a theory. That is a belief. That means that so-called Europe. Right. That means that. Right. That would mean supremacy means that there has to be somebody. You ever read the book Frantz Fanon?
Yeah.
Black skin, white mask.
I haven't read that. Read other
Frantz Fanon, great author, right?
I know Frantz.
Right, great author. So he made in the book, he said about the so-called status of black people. Black people in law are civiliter mortuus in law.
Negro.
What you would say, no standing in law. So if someone chooses to be black, or if they allow, like European, like it's yourself, right? If they allow you to say that you're a white person, that means they've given up their sovereignty. You see how that works?
That's what's the white language.
Okay, now you see, we got broke up for a second. Yeah, it's all good. We got broke up for a second.
I'm sorry, I lost.
No, it's all good. You know how IG tweet. It's all good. So you looking at the word jurist. Now remember, this is the Black's Laws Dictionary.
Still tracking where we're going.
Okay, it's all good. Look, A jurist is one who is versed or skilled in law. Ain't that what I said?
Yes.
Answering to the Latin jurisprudence or jurisprudence. One who is skilled in the civil law or law of nations. See that word? Nations. Not a community, not a so-called black person, because black is not a nation, white is not a nation. Those are legal statuses. Okay. The term is now usually applied to those who have distinguished themselves by their what? By their writings on legal subjects. So, when you're speaking about a jurist, you're talking about someone who is an expert or skilled in law, competent. Now, an attorney, if you look up an attorney is an officer of the court or an agent of the court. And as you already know, I know you know already, attorneys do not have a license because liberties cannot be licensed according to the supreme law of the land.
I don't know what you mean by that.
License is a privilege.
Licenses mean you ask for permission.
Yes, there's a private agency that the government has given authority to decide who gets licensed to practice law.
Exactly. If you come under the jury.
But you can't represent anyone else unless you have a license to practice law.
But that's the thing, though. Liberties cannot be licensed. Okay, that's a Supreme Court law. That's a Supreme
liberty.
You say what?
That's not a liberty.
Wait, hold up. What you say? Say that one more time.
I said practicing law is not a liberty. You can represent yourself, but practicing law means representing other people. That's not liberty.
You are the law. I self-law master.
Let me show you something. Because we do this all the time. Right? Let me show you something. This is the common law handbook. This is why you gotta have this on deck. Common law handbook. You can get this off Amazon for about $5-6 holler, right? As you see this right here, clear. Licensing liberty. No state shall convert a liberty into a license and charge a fee therefore. Murdoch versus Pennsylvania. You see that? So when you're speaking about licensing, you have to go to Supreme Court laws, which is called res judicata. You can bring up these all the time in actual court. Okay. You said that's not what res judicata means?
No, res judicata means something that's been decided before.
Exactly. So you can use res judicata in your current condition if you do go to a tribunal. And it cannot be superseded.
What you're arguing about has already been decided, then you have to re-argue it. I agree.
Exactly, because it's already been documented. So when you go to remedies, okay, if the state converts a liberty into a privilege, the citizen can ignore the license and fee and engage in the right liberty with impunity. Shuttlesworth versus the city of Birmingham.
You can represent yourself. You just can't represent anyone else unless you have a license.
But that's the thing, though. Liberties cannot be licensed, and
it's not a liberty to the person. That's not a right that's guaranteed to you. That's a license. That's a privilege.
But see, if you come under the jurisdiction of the U.S., which again we said is de facto, right? It's not de jure.
Well, that's not cherry picking to say, well, now they're not valid. Well, yeah, then none of the laws that we're talking about are valid. And none of them are valid. All fucking switches.
No. When it comes to the de facto,
to represent someone else.
When it comes to color of law, all that's de facto. Color of law, licensing, anything like that, all that's de facto. Now, when you're speaking about natural law, you familiar with natural law, right?
Yes.
Unalienable rights.
God's law.
Other rights. You said what? Okay. Common law. Right. Common law. Common law is natural law.
Yes.
Okay. So when you're speaking about common law, those are unalienable rights or unalienable rights or inalienable rights that you were born with. So since you were born with these rights, nobody has the power or authority to take them from you. This is where status comes from.
They do by force, right? Like, I hear you, and that's aspirational, and that's inspirational. But the truth is, they do take people's rights, those inalienable rights. They take them from them.
You know how to get took
all the time.
But you know how to get took. You know how to get took, Claire. Claire, you know how to get took. They don't get taken per se. They get abandoned. Someone can abandon their rights. You can actually abandon your nationality because you're claiming to be something that you're not, i.e. a black person.
Yes.
Okay, that's called, as you already know and you're familiar with, it's called acquiescence.
I know what you're saying, but I can't speak on that because I've heard people. My husband, he's an Oakland man. He was, you know what I mean? And he appreciated his blackness as something that was important to him. You know, and I don't know what he would say about the message you have about what it means to stay black, you know, but I do know that it was important for him, for his sons to be raised black and to call themselves black and to understand their blackness.
Black is not a nationality.
It's not, but nationality wasn't what was important to him.
Right, but see, okay, well, that's again, that's right. That's up to an individual.
That's abandoned.
Everybody has the right to what's called.
By conquerors, like, why are people?
Yeah, but see,
colonized.
Everybody has the right to self-government and self-determination. So this is where human rights come into play. If someone is ignorant to their right. If somebody's ignorant,
someone more guns comes, right?
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter if they have guns or not. Whether they have guns or not, it's irrelevant. It's what you know versus what they tell you. You see? So if you don't know enough to know yourself and you're ignorant of the law, then somebody who does know law, they're gonna get down on you and they're gonna send you off and they're gonna tell you some shit like, oh, okay, well, you're this and you're that. Or case in point, right? Check it out, Claire. Case in point. Case in point. We talking about common law, right? Okay, common law is common sense. The question okay. Yeah, check it out.
Rich white people. That's what common law is.
But see, again, they're not white people. See? They're foreigners. Check it out. Common law is common sense. The question
for reality in the world that we live in, right?
Wait, say that again. I ain't hear you.
I said, I'm with you that white is a construct and that we need to deconstruct it. I'm with you that it's this fiction that is like in a power dynamic, but it's also reality in the world that we live in. Right?
But that's
every day between white people and people of color.
But see, that's the thing, though. But see, that's the thing, though. You have to drop that narrative because that narrative is called denationalization. That narrative is called denationalization. When somebody says that somebody is a so-called black person, or you claiming to be white, that is you trying to do birthright theft. That is you or another European who's not an American trying to usurp and use sovereignty which you don't have. Okay, that is what it's called. So we're gonna have, like you said, the construct. It's a political construct. That I agree with you with. It is a political construct that has been the detriment to the Aboriginal indigenous descendants on these lands. Okay? Facts. Okay. Are you over there blowing? You over there blowing shit?
I don't mean to be disrespectful to your life.
Hey, nah, hey, do your,
you know?
Hey, do your thing. Look, check it out. Check it out. Do your thing. But check it out. While you doing your thing, we doing our thing. Look. Check it out. Right, do your thing. Check it out. Look, since we say common law is common sense, the question each jurist, that means a skilled person in law, must ask himself or herself, is there an injured party? You want remedies? Here you go. If there is not an injured party, there is no crime. See that right there?
Your theology about how the state
right. And that is called and that is a
constitution. So how can you adhere to their documents and also say they're not legitimate?
Because the Constitution, again, is Muslim law. The Constitution was not written by so-called Europeans.
All the Constitution was Muslim law? What part?
All of the Constitution.
I know more than the average
Europeans.
You know what I mean? And the Constitution doesn't.
Right.
I don't know. Educate me about that.
We educating you right now. That's why we built it. Right. We having this dialogue. Yeah, we having this dialogue right now because it's not just for us, it's for the listeners, it's for the ones who don't see it, it's for everybody. So right. So when we start talking about deconstructing slavery as far as colonization in the mind, the first thing you have to do is you have to come into nationality. You have to nationalize and you have to decolonize. Okay? Those are constructs. And as far as, this is the thing, I want to put this on the public record. Moors who study and Moors who are upright, independent, and fearless, we don't have a problem per se with Europeans. We don't have a problem with Albions. What we have a problem with is people that go against the law. Because Moors stand on principles and law.
Law? What law? The common law?
You say what? All law.
Common people go against the law. What law?
Yeah, any law.
All law.
All law.
Universal law.
Universal law, common law, natural law, any law. If it doesn't matter about what nation you're from. You say you from Ireland. Your ancestors from Ireland and Polish, right?
Yes, I've never been there, but that's where they're from.
Okay, cool. So nationality is important because that identifies. Now I know where you're from. Now, when I say, or you said your husband, when he says he's black, what nation is that?
I don't know.
Exactly.
What flag?
Nobody knows. What flag is that?
I don't know.
What
exactly.
National seal?
What national seal is that?
I feel unequipped to describe to you what he taught me about who he was.
Now, we just asked a question.
No.
We just asked a question.
These questions right here, right. These questions, right. These questions.
African experience, right, of being a part of the diaspora from Africa, where he was robbed of his history and created something different. Like
that's when it comes in. That's when it comes into the ignorance. And ignorance is okay if you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. Right. If you don't know, you don't know. You know, but the ignorant part is if you're hearing information, first of all, you can't unsee what you see. Okay? You can't unhear what you hear. So when somebody says something, like if a competent Moor is speaking, like right now, me and bro speaking, or any other Moor that's speaking, the information, just like Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, go to those who know law. And you ask them under an intelligent tone. They'll be glad to render you a favorable reply because they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness, so into the light. So if someone chooses to be in darkness, that's a choice. But you can't say that you didn't get told. You understand?
I do. I mean, I'm here with you. I feel like I'm receiving a sermon and I'm humbled to receive it. You know?
Real shit. That's the real shit. That's the real shit. So why you burning that good shit over there? Listen to this good shit over here. Because that's what it is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is right now.
Okay, but ultimately, I don't want to be dishonest with you, right? Like, ultimately, I'm facing is, let's say I got a kid, he's what you would call Moorish, dark. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He's 17.
Moorish.
Just Moors. American.
I get I like this color.
Okay.
Oh my God. Talking a lot.
It's a political education.
Okay.
And where they're getting it at the base level. I interact with them. You know, I'm a practical foxhole type.
But this is the thing, though. Right. This is the thing, though. You said that they're Moorish, right? So if they're Moorish,
I would call them black. That's what I've been taught to call them. It's hard for me.
But okay, but I just want to let you. Right. I want to let you know, though, when you call someone black, that is disrespectful, and you're denationalizing them.
Can you tell me about that?
Say it again.
Can you tell me about that a little bit? Because I imagine some people here are my audience. They don't know about that.
Okay, cool. So you got your dictionary on you?
Yeah. No, I told you. Yes. Please.
No, I'm talking to bro right here. So when you bring the American heritage, look up denationalized. So we're gonna go to the American Heritage College Dictionary. When someone is denationalized, that means they are stripped politically of their nationality. Now, nationality is that quality or character
That's
of a person.
I know what that is.
Right. That character or quality of someone belonging to a nation or state. So if I tell you, let me show you how denationality works, right? If I tell you that you're not Irish and you're not Polish, and now you're going to be subject to any law that I make up while you're in Ireland. Say you go back to Ireland and that comes down. Now, you would think that it would be a revolt out there in Ireland, right?
Why?
Because they're telling you now that since you're
out for revolt, you know what I mean? Like most people just go with the flow. No, I wouldn't.
Nah, you can't go with the flow.
You gotta go with the law.
You can't go with the flow. You gotta go with the law.
I agree. No, fuck the law.
So check it out.
Why are we binding ourselves?
You gotta go with the law.
You gotta go with the law.
What's up, man? What you done?
Claire, you can't
Claire,
go.
You gotta go with the law.
You gotta go with the law, not the flow. The flow could lead your ass over there to the permanent river.
I realize
right over the cliff.
Check it out. Wow. Check it out, Claire. Right. Check it out. It says
Thomas Jefferson's law.
Okay, denationalized. Check it out. It says to deprive of national rights or characteristics, transfer industry, for example, from government, right, to private ownership. So it says if you're deprived of national rights, that means you have ownership. You're now being owned. So do you want to be owned?
Yeah, right.
Okay then. So if you don't want to be owned, then you have to have a nationality.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're going to be subject to the jurisdiction of.
I'm going to keep it real with you because you've kept it real.
It's called chattel property.
That feels like word games. You know what I mean?
Nah, it's not word games. It's not word. Look up chattel. You got chattel property on.
You know what chattel property is, right?
So
look up word games.
Chattel property on.
Look up
so
word
you're looking up things in law because we always go back to the law. We don't go by opinion. We don't go by interpretation.
By white men to enslave people.
But see, they're not white.
The law. That's
okay, but see, right. But see, we gotta destroy that whole narrative about white. You're not white.
You got nationality.
White is a legal status.
Yeah.
Your nationality is Irish and Polish. That's your nationality.
I don't have an Irish passport. I hear you, but what the law says is that my passport is from the United States of America. It's blue. I have it on me right now.
Right. You know why it says white on there? First of all, it's a fraud. It's a fraud for it to say that. But if you saying that it says white, it
says United States of America.
Right. The United States of America is a foreign corporation. Yeah. You see that?
De facto.
I feel that's a legitimate revolutionary political statement that holds no power in a court of law.
But see, that's the thing, though. That's not court. Those are not courts of law. That's the thing. That's why you got to go back to Article 1.
That's every day. I hear you about that.
Yeah, but see,
I think that is.
You have to go back.
Really.
Right. You have to go back.
These kids who are going and living in them.
Check it out, Claire.
That's the legal dictionary.
Check it out, Claire.
Black laws.
This is Black's Laws Dictionary, right? We're looking up the word chattel.
Okay.
An article of personal property, a species, any species of property not amounting to a freehold or a fee in the land. So you will be considered a United Statian. Somebody who's of Albion European descent, you will be considered a United Statian, not an American.
Like
See the difference?
States, is that what you mean?
A United Statian.
So
That is okay.
Here, when they ask what I am, if I say American, they feel like that's weird because the Americas are a very large place, right? So
Yeah.
I'm a United States. Hear that? I don't know what an Albion is.
Exactly. Right, but see, an Albion is your heritage. And Albion is where, naturalized. And Albion is what happened when you was right. And Albion will be considered. What you said? Say it again.
Albion, is that race? Is that nationality? What are you describing?
Albion will be considered the species. That is their species.
You?
Yes.
For real? That's what you think?
Yes. Because if you're talking about science now, we about to give it to you right now, right? Okay, cool. You got your, and this right here, like I said, this is a dialogue build. You know what I'm saying?
I have no negative things at all. I'm here to learn.
Yeah. This ain't about shitting on nobody or anything like that.
It's to teach our people too.
No,
right.
This is not something I know about. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right. This is teach our people. Negro.
Yeah. So
Negro.
Right. So when you speaking about stuff like this, right? Let's go straight to it. We ain't gonna play around. You gotta look up key things. You said something about an Albion, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay, look. Now when you're talking about an Albion, this is when you have to go back to the Moabite nation when you're speaking about an Albion. Okay. Okay. The fall of the Moabite nation was the conclusion of a cycle of experiences.
What is
just as okay, this right here. Yeah, get this book right here. It's called Isonomy. Yeah, get this book. Okay. Albions will be considered modern day Europeans. That is an Albion. Okay, so we got to give you a little backdrop history about Albions. Okay. Okay, we going back to the Moabite nation. Just as all things begin, live through, and finish cycles of experiences. At the same time, a new cycle of experiences was beginning for different types of beings. Out of the ruins of the old comes the birth of a new. This is an eternal truth, and it applies to all modes of life, from the simple atom to entire galaxies, as above, so below. Okay? Now, it says, realizing this, you heard about Yakub before, right?
Yeah.
The scientist? Okay, Yakub. Okay, good. Realizing this, Yakub took the best of what was being destroyed. The 12 Moabite female genius scientists, one of each zodiac sign, and mated them with a being Yakub saw as the missing link. You know Sigmund Freud, the missing link theory?
I don't entirely know the Sigmund Freud missing link theory.
Okay. Darwin's theory?
The word Darwin's
the missing link? Okay, cool. Check it out. The missing link. The link was the chimpanzee monkey, Negro Yavera Areva. That is the missing link. And out of that missing link, that is how Europeans came into inception. Albions, which was known as the Great Bouquet.
Break that down.
That's a little,
break that down.
Yeah.
If you
Okay, so check it out. Yakub took the best of the Moabite nation, which represented civilization, intellect, spirituality, and mated it with the potential of the upcoming race, which represented the cunning, ruthlessness, and also spirituality. These experimentations resulted in the culmination of the fall of the Moabite nation and the rise of another nation, which brought ignorance, superstition, hatred, amalgamation, medical science, savagery, destruction, starvation, and sorrow.
And that's the nation that you think that I'm from.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out.
Listening,
check it out. Such is the great price humanity has paid for the human bouquet. Those are facts.
Experimentation. That's where I came from.
Experimentation. Yes, you came from experimentation, but that's not a knock on any Albion European or hybrid. That's why they call y'all hybrids. If you look up
kind of a man.
Yes, if you look up an older dictionaries have this information. When you look up a hybrid, you will see that there is a quote that it said that it says that we at best are but hybrids. This was an Albion European that was saying this in the dictionary.
Hold on a minute. I'm a little skeptical of who wrote the old dictionaries. That was Moorish people who wrote those?
No, those actually are a culmination of Moors, and those are actually Albion Europeans.
That feels those like it serves Albion Europeans.
Yeah, just like you had, because I got a haircut. I gotta go cut in a minute. But
I'm not trying to keep you. You know what I mean?
Nah, I wouldn't be doing this if I wouldn't be doing this. Can't nobody keep me. If I wouldn't want to do it, I wouldn't do it.
I don't need to presume. I don't need to presume. You know. Yeah. I've been humbled, like I said, by the invitation.
Yeah, for sure. But see, that's what it's about though. It's about getting out the information so everybody can start knowing the information. And again,
I was just saying from black man to black man.
I'm not a black man. Hold up. I'm not a black man though. You can't don't disrespect me and say black man. You're not a black man either. You a Moor.
Yeah.
You a Moor. I'm a Moor. You a Moor.
We're not people of color.
We're not people of color because you know what we gotta stop doing? We gotta stop casting spells, bro. We gotta stop casting spells. And I mean this with respect to you, and I don't even know you. And I mean this out of love and respect. I don't know your wife either, but I mean this out of love and respect. We have to stop playing the skin game and the color game. We got to start calling things what they are instead of calling things what we've been told. You know what I'm saying? And if you're talking about etymology, your wife will be considered black because black, if you look at the definition of black, means pale. Okay? That's what it means, pale. This is why we have to start coming into the knowledge. We can't come with the opinions. We can't come into the beliefs no more. We got to start coming into fruition.
Teach our babies.
And teach your children. We got to stop. We got to stop going by beliefs, and we got to start going with facts and truth.
Everything is indoctrinated now. It's watered down.
I agree, brother. I agree. And what I was saying is I was tuning in. I'm rocking with Claire right now, and I just came in. You feel me? Just to say that I was tuning in, but what I wanted to add is that you go. I would like you to go deeper. You feel me on the I don't even know how to pronounce the word. Like
which word? What it sound like?
What you said? Albion.
Albions are an experimentation that was cooked up. We gotta do this live again so we can chop it up because I appreciate y'all and I appreciate the listeners. You know what I'm saying? Because this is good content to put out to the world. You feel me?
For sure.
It's good content because your wife, that's your wife, right?
Well, I'm not the husband that she was speaking about.
Okay.
Dr. Prince White, you know what I'm saying, did a lot of work, you know what I'm saying,
I'm a widow.
Yeah, she's
Josh
widow.
is mine.
Okay.
Right now, you know.
I'll give you the prayer hands. I'll give you the prayer hands for that. You know, condolences for that. You know, but yeah. When we talking about who we are, when we talking about who we, even Claire, even you are amalgamated Moor. Because you have Moorish blood inside your body as well.
I don't know what's missing, you know what I mean? And hopefully we can take that up again. I know that you have somewhere to be, but
yeah, check it out. Before I slide, I'm just gonna show you something. You and bro something. Okay? I'm showing you and bro. Showing everybody on the live feed. Amalgamation is the action of combining into a uniform whole two different compounds, elements, or species, etc. It's science. The ancient you see that? The ancient Hebrida experiments were in fact ovum zygote implant amalgamation exercises in a quote-unquote genetic engineering. The two incongruent subjects of the Hebrida experiments were, check it out.
It's the breakdown.
This is the breakdown, real quick before I slide. Check it out. It says, A, the human species, the Homo aboriginal or Oriental, the troglodyte, you see that, nigger, Niger, right? Or you would say Niger. The Anthropopithecus, see that? The Anthropopithecus, monkey / ape, all right? The zygote, metrically amalgamated A plus B equals C. Thus, the troglodyte Niger or nigger Paleolithic man, hybrid, occidental, ruddy, pale humanoids. The resulting amalgam of the Hebrida experiments was that of the ruddy, pale, hairy humanoids. A humanoid is a synthetic, see that? Synthetic man or android. See that? A synthetic man or android. Now this is not a diss on our amalgamated brothers and sisters. This is not a diss because they are amalgamated Moors. They're still Moors. They're just from a different nation. You know what I'm saying? They're just from a different nation. Our nation is the Moorish nation. Their nation is the amalgamated nation or the pale nation. That's their nation. Because kind of a man, you have man and you have mankind. It's not a diss. It's just we got to start being real. Shit got to get real. You feel me?
Yeah. So, you know.
But anytime, I appreciate y'all. Anytime we got to stop because y'all familiar with the Bible, right?
Hell yeah.
A little something? Fuck around with the Bible a little something?
Yeah.
Okay. First was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. And if you look at that alone, and I'm not all into, you know what I'm saying, all that, but I study, and Moors be studying. So when you saying the Word, if the Word is God, how can you call yourself God? You know, somebody be like, peace, God. You can't call yourself God and use the word black to describe yourself because man is made in the likeness and the image of the Creator, which is light. So how can man describe themselves as black? And black, again, means pale. So you're putting, not only are you being ungodly, but you are also speaking ungodly because you're putting a spell on yourself. It's a spell. It's really black magic.
And also black in the law dictionary means civilary mortus.
Facts.
And black and science mean death.
Facts.
And negro mean death and lack of consciousness.
Facts. You see what we're saying? So it's all about each one teach one, man. I learned something from y'all. Y'all learned some from us. You know what I'm saying? Whoever see this live feed, they'll learn something. And that's how I suppose the cycle, because it's gonna be 2021, fam.
We gotta change this.
We gotta change that narrative.
And teach our babies.
We gotta teach our babies so we don't come up, so they don't come up like we came up, miseducated and indoctrinated with bullshit.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Read that Willie Lynch.
Yeah, we gotta get back on real knowledge and information and share that shit so the young generations will come with their eyes already open. Feel me?
That's a fact. I'm with you. Stay blessed. Let's do this again.
Nah, don't say bless. Don't say bless. I know this shit crazy. Say bliss. Say bliss. Say bliss. BLISSED. Bliss. Because when you say blessed, that means to throw blood on somebody. I don't know if you want to throw blood on somebody.
Do you know what the Europeans was called?
I don't know if you want to do that.
Do you know what God called the Europeans in the Bible?
No.
You don't know?
I mean, no. No.
Amalekites.
Edomites. Look up the word Edomite.
Edomites.
Yeah.
Right. Look up, and then if you're looking up before I slide, if you're looking up you say the Bible. If you say in the Bible, look up who the Moabites are. The Canaanites. The Moabites and the Canaanites. That is the actual lineage of Yeshua ben Yosef.
Exactly.
What they miscall, they give him a misrepresentation of Jesus. His actual name is Yeshua or Yahshua.
There wasn't even no J, right?
Right, because it was no J. There is no J in Hebrew at that time. There was no J. So since there was no J, how can his name have been what they called Jesus? This was a Y. You feel me? Yahshua or Yeshua ben Yosef. Knowledge is power, though.
Knowledge is the key.
Knowledge is the key. Knowledge is the key.
Well, we
You know
enjoy
what I'm saying? So, we enjoyed y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all got something off this feed. You know what I'm saying? The ones that see it, the ones that will see it now, and the ones that will see it in the future. You know what I'm saying? Share the information out, because that's what it's all about.
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Study. You're not black people. All right? You're Moors. You're a Moor. You're a mighty Moor. You have an illustrious history. Because if you ask a simple question, right? Like me and bro be doing. If you had, like say this game right here. If you had this game right here, Russian roulette, and you had to pull the trigger on yourself to say, prove that you are a black man, or prove that you are a black person. Can you do that? Because if you can't do it, you're gonna have to pull the trigger and blow your nose out. So if you can't prove it, let it go and find out the real information. All right, you want to say something to him? I'm gonna get up out there. I gotta cut.
I mean, just you gotta study up. Learn who you are, learn your nationality, learn your political status. Your political and social status to this land, and learn what your birthright is. Learn your inheritance. It's about learning. That's all it is. It's about learning. We can buy 3 fields, but we can't buy no book.
Right. You could buy
3-5.
Right. You could buy a tray 5, but you don't know your own laws of the land that you live in.
You don't even know your own people.
All right. So study. I hope y'all got something from the video. Again, much love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice all day. You're not black. They not white.
Not African American.
You're not African American.
Colored person.
None of that.
People of color.
You ain't none of that. You are Moor. Proclaim your nationality, man. Proclaim your nationality. On God, proclaim your nationality. Don't let nobody tell you who you are. Know who you are. Because once you know who you are, can't nobody send you off and tell you who you are. All right?
Facts.
Our self-law and master. Islam.
Artie, you're up. You're up, Artie. The link's in the chat. Push the button. It's the attorney day today. Let's push the button, Artie. You said you got 20 minutes before you do your own live. So you're not doing anything right now. Because you're not going to be you're talking BS on your live anyways. You're going to be talking anything worth talking about. So, you know, Islam to the Moors. Islam to the Moors for spreading the knowledge and allowing some minds to start moving again. Because she wasn't on it, because remember her post was let's just recap. Let's just do the recap. Her post was dope law fact. Oh yeah, let's put it up. I forgot we got screen share going on till Artie gets in here. Let's wait on Artie. It's down to the Moors. Dope law fact. Being a Moor or a sovereign citizen has zero impact on your legal rights in America. Ask the Moors and the sovereign citizens in prison. That's how crazy she was talking. That's how crazy she was talking. Yeah, let's just leave her a little message. Remember to remove this BS. You just agreed with the Moors live. Artie, where you at? I know you're getting ready. Well, since Artie's getting ready, let's just get you ready. Let's get you ready. Get ready for round two. Let's get you ready for round two. I'll wait for Artie. Let's see what we got up in here. We'll wait for Artie.
Moorish master MC. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all rappers. Yo, you did it with this one. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all rappers. Not inquisitor, general, torture, or rapping dummy. Wearing eyeshadow, piercing his tongue and tummy. Piercing the lips and wearing gay earrings, king. One was bad, but now y'all are killing it, king. Some rappers taking it, some giving it, king. Just to have a whip and a mansion, be living it bling. Living it artificial, acting like clones. When I hit you by text, I don't mean by phones. Moorish squad bomb rappers on tracks like drones. Like casual, I didn't mean to put bats to your dome. Splitting numbskulls, squashing pea brains. Don't leave nails on fingers when I does it. Little chicken McNuggets, rapping meal toys. Got young guns clapping, leave you limp like Steve back. Troy asking what's happened, like you didn't know or expect it. For talking that misleading trash on all your records. Moorish MC of the year, some say I'm a jerk. I rhyme too much truth and your feelings got hurt. You rapping early and verse on microphone masters. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all rappers. Moorish MC of the year, some say I'm a jerk. I rhyme too much truth and your feelings got hurt. You rapping early and verse wearing skirts, I clap your cuz. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all rappers. There's nothing you homo rappers do that surprise me. Rapping inquisitor make you eat poison ivy. Trim big.
All right.
Can y'all hear me?
It was good. We can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect, perfect.
Loud and clear.
So I'll admit that I only kind of joined in within maybe the last half an hour of your discussion.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it wasn't really ours. It was another Moorish discussion with another attorney somewhere else that was sort of along those same lines as, you know, we see you when you talk with Devon and these people, from the perspective as if Moors are sovereign citizens or tied to that in some kind of way. And we were just here to let that one know that that's not what it is. We're not sovereign citizens, we're Moors. That's a whole separate jurisdiction that has nothing to do with us. Even though there's some people in that call themselves Moors.
I see. I think the reason why many people associate Moors with sovereign citizens is set aside the issues of history of the Moorish people, the Moorish Empire. A lot of people associate the two groups as being parts of the same entity, or at least the same general group, is because a lot of the legal arguments being made whenever somebody is accused of a crime of some kind, or violation of statute, as some of you would describe it, or some sort of civil matter, etc. A lot of the legal arguments being put forth are extremely similar with each other. And so as a result, that's why there is a lot of overlap between Moors being associated with sovereign citizens, is because the legal arguments are the same, even if the basis for your arguments are different.
No, the reason why there's the confusion is because the people who are adjudicating know that they stole someone's birthright. Because the people who are claiming to have the authority here got the authority from somewhere else to be here. So they're actually a subordinate. They're not a superior, but they'll call themselves supreme all day and use that supreme authority without letting the people know where they got that authority. So the position that the Moors take is that we are actually the Aboriginal and Indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere. We're those people. And us being those people means that we have certain inalienable rights in our own land that no one can violate, especially if we haven't violated anybody else. Now, people who are doing criminal activity and try to get out of it using this jurisdiction of information, they're a fraud, because you're not supposed to be doing anything criminal in the first place, much less using jurisprudence to get out of your criminal responsibility that you're supposed to be holding yourself to if you're claiming to be a Moor. If you're claiming to be a Moor and you do something criminal, and you get caught, then you hold that L, because you shouldn't have been doing that stuff in the first place. So the putting these things together is based on the people who have the power, and they're putting it out there that, oh, those people are sovereign citizens, watch them because they shouldn't be doing that. That's paper terrorism and all that. When the lawyer who drops off a stack of papers, he's not charged with paper terrorism. He's putting in the same things that some of the Moors are putting in, affidavits or motions. There's nothing paper terrorist about that. If I have a court date, why can't I send in evidence for my trial? I should have that right if they say that this is a court.
Well, the problem is that oftentimes a lot of the paperwork may look like legal motions or recognized legal motions, but oftentimes they're not. They're titled differently. They are either presented at the wrong juncture in the proceedings. The biggest example I'll give is that oftentimes a lot of legal arguments are being made by Moors or sovereign citizens at the point of arraignment, when most of the time that's not really the time in the process to submit those motions.
Most definite. 100% agree with you there. 100%.
The other aspect is that you said you in the earlier part of your statement earlier, you said that the people that committing crimes, they shouldn't be using that. Well, but see, that's the thing. A lot of the Moors, and again, a lot of sovereign citizens, a lot of Moors say that crimes there's only something can only be a crime if there's a physical harm or monetary harm that's caused to another person. That's a similar definition among the two of you.
No, I mean from the perspective of if I didn't injure anybody, if nobody's been injured, then there's no crime because you need a guilty party. You can't just say I did something because you put some sign there. You're a foreigner. If somebody's a foreigner, they can't tell the indigenous people what the law is. That's a contradiction of law.
Well, that's basically you're making a declaration of interpretation that any public body that's currently recognized by those outside of the Moorish Science Temple are foreigners, aka my local city council are comprised of foreigners, and therefore any ordinance that they pass is null and void. I mean, not
that it's null and void, but it doesn't apply to the indigenous people because it was created by a foreigner.
But again, that's your presumption that it's a foreigner.
No,
we can have. I mean, I want to go back right around. I know that we can have a discussion about
the UN declarations that all these countries signed on to say that in order for the state to pass a law or do anything, they have to talk to the indigenous people. If they don't, that's color of law.
Which UN declaration is this?
The Universal Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People, because everybody has to respect the rights of indigenous people. It's not up for question.
Okay, are you aware that that was a non-binding resolution, and B, the United States didn't even sign on to that?
No, it's not. It's not whether they sign on or not. The people who are calling themselves United States and Canada, they admit out of their mouth that they're colonists, and colonists means people who colonized.
They were founded by colonists. I will grant you that. But then they became recognized. Then the colonists grouped together and became recognized nation states.
Though? What is a colonist, though? Isn't a colonist a foreigner?
A colonist can then turn into a native.
Is a colonist not a foreigner?
A colonist is somebody who is going into another land, yes, to reside in.
So that means they're a foreigner. Period.
No, but that doesn't mean they're always going to be a foreigner.
Everybody who is not Aboriginal and indigenous to the Americas is a foreigner. That's just what it is.
It's not what it is. Nobody recognizes that, with the exception of your organization, your group.
Why would someone who wants the indigenous people to assimilate recognize what I'm talking about? Obviously, they don't recognize it. They're a colonist. I'm not expecting it to be recognized.
Okay, then what's the point of making the argument? Okay, that's fine then. If you want to, you know what? Fine. If you want to behold to those beliefs, that's fine. You're right. You can believe whatever you want to believe. It's when you try to then say that you don't have to abide by these laws passed by these so-called foreigners that we have an issue, right?
Okay, what's your background?
Why does that matter? I always get asked this all the time, but I have to ask, why does that matter?
Because you're European, so obviously you're not from America. So where's your ancestors from?
I was born in the United States, and I think that's the relevant thing that matters.
No, it's not, because you have ancestry, and your ancestors weren't born in the United States because there was no United States before the 1700s.
So are you suggesting that there's no such thing as like naturalization?
No, I'm just asking a question. Where's your ancestors?
My parents. Okay, I'm going to state that I don't think it's relevant, but I'm going to say that my parents were both Puerto Rican, and when my dad checked my family's history through records and DNA, it trails back to Portugal and Spain. Again, I don't think it has any relevance to whether or not I'm an American, but I understand that that's a great cultural divide that we have whenever I talk to Moors about this.
So the reason why I asked that is, so you're telling me that in Portugal and Spain, they have their laws, right? As the indigenous people there, they have their laws. Has nothing to do with the United States, has nothing to do with Germany, has nothing to do with whatever, has to do with Spain and Portugal. You're telling me that Chinese people can go to Portugal, set up street signs and all that stuff, and then the people of Spain and Portugal are supposed to follow those rules that those foreigners made up as the law because they said so?
No.
Oh, so why would you say they could do that here in America?
Because the so-called foreigners have been naturalized citizens on this land for hundreds of years now. For all intents and purposes, they are Americans.
You're still a foreigner. You can't be an American because an American is an Aboriginal and Indigenous person who was here before Europeans.
Okay, that's according to your definition, but not according to the definition as defined by everybody else in mainstream.
The definition in the American Heritage Dictionary.
Yeah, of 1828.
American is not somebody who's part of the United States, because if you were
of 1828, right?
Okay, let me ask you this question. So if you were naturalized, right, into the United States, why is your nationality not United Statesian? Shouldn't you be naturalized in America in order to be American?
Well, I was born in the United States, so that's what makes me an American.
No, because nationality comes from either being born or naturalized.
Right, and I was born in the United States.
Okay, so if you were born in the United States, then you're United Statesian. You're not American.
I'm an American. No, there is no such. What is a United Statesian?
Exactly the same thing. What is
American is the demonym for somebody who lives in the United States, just the same as a Canadian is somebody who was born in Canada.
What country does your passport say? America or United States?
United States.
All right. So if you're from the United States, if you were born in the United States, if somebody born in Canada is Canadian, and somebody born in Mexico is Mexican, and somebody born in Brazil is Brazilian, they're not saying they're American. So why is somebody who's born in the United States saying they're American?
Because that has been the established, recognized term for somebody who is from the United States. I'm well aware that the continents all say South America, Central America, North America, but the demonym, i.e., the term to define somebody who resides in from that nation or is a national of that nation, it's American is the commonly recognized term for that.
Right. Okay. Now I'm just gonna yield the floor and let a couple of the other Moors get in here. Brother Abdullah and our brother Sheldon. If we could keep our comment to 5 minutes. Brother Abdullah and then Brother Sheldon.
Islam. Okay, Artie, this is a question for you. When was the United States established?
If we're including the Articles of Confederation into that mix, that would be. Let me get my thought in there. It would be 1781 or 1782.
Okay, so if we're going off the established law of the land, the United States does not include the 13 colonies. It only includes those plantations that was included in that article. So what Brother Canaanland is saying, that you're not a United States citizen, that only applies to the plantations that it was associated with.
Wait, so, I'm sorry. What plantations are we talking about here?
You got the articles, do you not?
The Articles of Confederation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you cannot tell me that you don't know what plantations you're talking to.
The Articles of Confederation involved the 13 colonies.
No, it involved the plantations of those colonies.
But where the hell are you even getting this?
Oh, I'm getting it for Congress. The Congress records. Yes, that's what I'm getting it from.
Okay, and you're saying that the Articles of Confederation and the states, the colonies, did not sign on to the Articles of Confederation.
It did not say states. It said colonies. It did not say states. It said colonies.
Yeah, they were reformed into states.
No, you cannot reform a colony into a state.
Why not?
Because that's called oppression.
That's called colonization.
Look at the definition of state. State refers to a people, not a fucking continent or a boundary line.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not.
Of course it does.
What is can you tell me the legal boundary lines of the United States?
The legal boundary lines of the United States? Yeah. I mean, if you want me to give you the latitude and longitude lines, I couldn't give you that off the top of my head.
It's in Washington, D.C.
of the United States.
What is it, 8-mile radius? An 8-mile radius of D.C.
I'm going to read you the document. According to my document, to establish a government for Washington, D.C., the United States is defined as 16 Statute L419, which was signed February 21st, 1861, and 104 Statute T4933, which was signed November 29th, 1990, Section 3611.
1861?
Public law, meaning you can go to the court of records.
I thought we were talking about the Articles of Confederation. How did we get to 1861?
We're talking about the legal definition of the United States, which says that in order to provide a government for DC, a boundary.
Yeah, for the District of Columbia.
So are you saying that you are a District of Columbian citizen? Because you just said you was
but that's not defining the United States as a whole.
Yes, it is. You just said that.
No, it doesn't. You're talking about the Organic Act of 1871, right? All it did was establish a government, a state, an equivalent government that governed that region, the region known as DC. It did not define the United States as just DC and nothing else.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
And even then, it was repealed in 1864.
That's all we know. You're an officer of the court.
I just said 1871. 1871 overdates 1861.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, not the 1864. 1874.
1861's still before.
I just said the act that he's talking about is the Organic Act of 1871. I misspoke and I said 1864. The act was repealed in 1874.
He did not establish a boundary line for the United States, which was 10 by 10 square miles.
It established a boundary line of the government that was the jurisdiction of the government that was being established to govern DC. It did not establish the boundary line of the United States. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so are you a United States citizen?
I'm a U.S. citizen. Yes.
Oh, so that means you can't be an American.
You can't be American.
Yes, I can be an American.
No, look, you cannot be a United States citizen. You will go to jail. According to Title 18 of Crimes and Criminal Procedures, subsection 911, whoever falsely and willfully represents himself to be a citizen of the United States shall be fined under this title and imprisoned not more than 3 years or both.
Yeah, if you are not an actual citizen, if you are not an actual citizen and conveying yourself as a citizen, you can get in trouble for that.
Hold on, brother, 1 second. Let me get Brother Sheldon in there.
Are you for real?
Hold on.
No, let him continue. Let him continue. I'm
listening. All right, go ahead.
You just said you was a United States citizen, did you not?
Yeah.
So how can you go against that if you just falsely and willfully represent yourself to be such?
I didn't falsely. I was born in the United States. Ergo, I'm a United States citizen.
You cannot be born in the United States because United States is 10 by 10 square miles.
No, I already told you that your interpretation of that law is bunk. No, I'm not buying your interpretation that the United States is defined by a 10 by 10 boundary.
We're not selling it. You don't have to buy it. We're not selling it.
The interpretation that the lawyers present is invalid because the Supreme Court says a lawyer's interpretation of the law is not deemed relevant. That means it's
how? What? I'm sorry. What Supreme Court law said that? Please enlighten me.
Okay. Let me go.
What court said that?
Brother Sheldon, you want to get in there?
No, well, I was just saying, like, Artie, you keep saying it's his interpretation, but he's reading official documents. So how is it his interpretation?
because he's cherry picking a portion of the law that criminalizes the idea of representing oneself as a U.S. citizen, not adding to the fact that it's meant to be for individuals who are not in fact citizens and lying and saying that they are. It's intended to be regarding immigration law. It's like an illegal immigrant or a non-citizen national coming to the United States and saying to an official body, "I'm a U.S. citizen," when they are in fact not. That's what the criminalization is. It's not that I, as somebody who can demonstrate that I was born in the geographic boundaries of the United States, say that I am a United States citizen and I'm not breaking the law over it.
Are you a judge?
Am I a judge?
Yes.
No.
So are you saying that you're above the law?
Nope, that's not what I said.
Okay, but you're going around what I just stated. Whoever falsely and willfully represents himself, you are willfully and falsely representing yourself.
I'm not falsely representing myself as a U.S. citizen. That's where we're going to disagree, buddy.
No, you keep telling us that, but you keep saying you're a United States citizen.
I keep saying that I am due to my birth. The location of my birth.
Geographical location of the United States of America is Washington, D.C., 10 by 10 square miles.
Incorrect. It encompasses the 50 states and territories.
So you telling me Washington, D.C. invaded and colonized every country around its territory?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Yes, you are.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. You are just, again, misinterpreting the law that you're reciting.
No, that is Supreme Court case, Monroe Doctrine. That is the Monroe Doctrine, ratified of the 14th Amendment. Read it.
What the hell does the Monroe Doctrine have anything to do with what we're talking about here?
The Monroe Doctrine, it states that the United States, in its attempt to set up railroads or businesses outside of its 10 by 10 square miles jurisdiction, is hostile.
Not yet. Hold on.
What? That is not what the Monroe Doctrine talks about. Again, what Supreme Court case are you citing this from?
You tell me something that you have not read. Have you read the Monroe Doctrine?
But the Monroe Doctrine.
Have you read it?
Have you read it though? Have you read it?
Did you read it, Artie?
I can give it to you off the top of my head. I'm not going to be able to tell you it word for word.
Okay, Abdullah, are you reading it?
Am I reading it?
No, Abdullah's reading it.
What? Please tell me what specifically you're reciting this from.
He's gonna get it for you.
If you want this record, you can go down to the congressional records.
Yes, sir, but that's Brother Abdullah.
No, not that Abdullah.
Oh, I'm not. So who's Brother Sheldon? Another.
Okay, that's what I thought. The Monroe Doctrine had to do with preventing the European powers from trying to engage in further colonialization in the Americas. That's what the Monroe Doctrine was.
So is the United States with its 10 by 10 square miles, is that not
What are they trying to prove? That's what's going on.
No.
United States American.
Okay, get this.
He's saying he's American.
United States, being from the United States and being
United States, yeah.
things.
How?
Man hasn't even read the Monroe Doctrine, but
I just gave you the basic synopsis of the Monroe Doctrine. I don't know where the heck you're getting this idea about railroads.
You gave me your interpretation of the Monroe Doctrine.
Yeah, I would like to know where you're getting this idea about the Monroe Doctrine having anything to do with railroads in the United States.
Right here, a discussion of the forming of the 14th Amendment, June 13th, 1866. Congressional records.
And the Monroe Doctrine comes from. Oh my God, we're not even in 1866 at this point. We're talking about the Monroe Doctrine.
Are you saying any laws or treaties that was written in the 1700s and the 1800s does not apply?
So now,
unless they've been repealed, they can still be in effect.
It can't be repealed because in the Constitution it says anything prior stands, so it can't. It can't be repealed.
It can.
Are you serious?
So was prohibition not enacted and then repealed?
Hold on. So let me ask you this question. Okay, so if you're attorney, lawyer, or whatever, you take an oath?
Yes.
What do you take an oath to uphold?
The Constitution and the laws of the state in which I've been licensed.
Treaties that came with it.
So how come you're going against the Constitution right now, talking about 1860 stuff doesn't matter.
No. I didn't say anything about 1860 stuff does not mattering. I'm talking about this guy's talking about the Monroe Doctrine, which was a doctrine, a policy by James Monroe, talking about how the United States will prevent European colonial powers from further messing with the Western Hemisphere. And then I asked, what does that have to do with railroads in 1866?
Because it was the United States so-called government that was building the shit.
Right, but that has nothing to do with the Monroe Doctrine. I'm not denying that railroads were being built in the 1860s.
The Monroe Doctrine just said anything that tries to come on our land, whether it be railroad or business, is deemed hostile.
No, to Europe, America is allowed to grow within its own plans.
So what is that jurisdiction called Washington, D.C.? It is which was set up in 1774.
Wait, what was set up in 1774?
The so-called Washington, D.C. It did not predate. It did not predate 1774. Washington, D.C. did not predate Washington, 1774.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Washington, D.C. wasn't even a thing in 1774.
Okay, so again, if Washington, D.C. wasn't there in 1774, Europe was there. So if European was occupying that territory, which now sits as Washington, D.C., are the Europeans colonial colonizers?
No, because those colonists, the colonists detached themselves from Great Britain and declared themselves independent.
That they are not colonists. That does not mean that they are not.
And they established themselves a new nation here called the United States. Whether you still consider them to be colonists is irrelevant because they are the recognized nation state that is the United States.
So Artie, so that's not treason that you're breaking off from Britain when you're modern European?
That's your government.
Isn't that your government?
Great Britain is not my government.
America's not Europe. So if
you're right, America isn't Europe.
Right,
that's the United States broke off from Great Britain, and you're right, that was treason. But the United States won the American Revolution and established its own nation.
Why are they still here?
Huh?
Why are they still here?
Because they want to live here.
No, they don't.
They have been living here. They have been living there since like for 150 years prior.
You don't want to admit you're a colonist, Artie. It's okay. We understand.
If you want to say that my ancestors may have been colonists, I might even agree with you. But if you're going to call me a colonist simply because simply because my ancestors may have been, I'm probably going to disagree with you there.
You're reaping the benefits of colonization.
Huh?
You're reaping the benefits of colonization. If your ancestors were colonists and they did whatever they did to be in power right now, and now you're here telling me that you're an American when we know that you're a modern European and you're not from here. You're not from here. Your people are foreigners.
I've been living here my entire life.
But that doesn't mean your parents.
That doesn't mean that you're from there.
My parents have been living in the United States their entire lives.
There is no United
States. And according to the Constitution, my parents are both U.S. citizens, and I'm a U.S. citizen by virtue of our birth.
By law, you are not an American. You are violating the law. You still calling yourself a citizen of the United States. You're violating the law.
I know you keep thinking that, but please report me to the FBI. Please.
That's a good one.
I mean, if you think I'm actually breaking the law by saying that I'm a U.S. citizen, by all means, report me. I would love it.
As a judge of the court, as a judge of the land of Oklahoma, who knows the law, you are breaking the law, Artie.
Judge of the land of Oklahoma. You're a judge. Okay.
Yes, in Oklahoma.
Oh, and which orders have you handed down that have been enforced?
Any have you seen? You just said you don't read. So if I did, you wouldn't read them.
Oh, I would love to read any orders that you have passed down that have been actually enforced. I would love to read them.
Don't get caught up in this thing as if we're here to debate something. We know what your position is because you are an officer of the court. We know this. We know where your mindset's at, what you were taught, and that you're not budging
And I have the evidence to back up my claims, though. That's the thing.
Evidence to back up claims because we know you're a foreigner. It's simple. It's that simple.
I mean, you could call me a foreigner all you want. I mean, it doesn't matter to me what you think of me at all.
It's not.
It does matter. It does matter.
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Abdullah. Here's the thing, Keelan Moors. Here's the thing. Oh, no. Let me think. Here's the thing. If you think I'm a foreigner, deport me. Try me.
No, because of course.
When am I going to get removal papers?
Of course, based on your living off of your ancestors colonizing this land, you can talk shit. Of course, you could talk shit. Why wouldn't you be able to talk shit if you're not?
Because nobody buys into your arguments at all that every single person who's not a Moor is a foreigner.
It's in your history books. It's in your history book. You came over
the actual history, not your revisionist stuff.
If it's the history that you guys came over here from Europe, landing on Plymouth Rock, you are still a fucking colonist.
So Artie, I got
not really.
Artie.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me those
hold on.
They had kids?
Brother Sheldon, you had something you wanted to put in there?
Just a couple of questions. Okay, so Europeans came over here, and who gave them permission to come over here?
Nobody.
Nobody gave them permission. So when George Washington came, he didn't write a letter to the Sultan of Morocco thanking him for allowing him to come in his dominion, and they weren't paying tribute to the Sultan of Morocco.
By dominion, if you mean by dominion, you mean the shores of North Africa, then yes, I agree with you. If you mean by dominion by being anywhere in North America, no, I don't agree with you.
Okay, well, this is where everybody has been miseducated, because this whole land, the whole landmass of the Americas, was known as Morocco, the farthest west.
Okay, I understand that that's part of y'all's ideology, but there's no substantive evidence that supports that argument.
Artie, hold on a second. Now, first of all, I domicile in Germany, right? I'm in Germany right now. And have you ever talked to anybody from Morocco?
From Morocco? No.
From the Kingdom of Morocco there in North Africa?
No. Personally, no.
Okay. If you talk to them and you ask them, where is Al-Maghrib Al-Aqsa, which is the Arabic translation of Morocco, the farthest west, they will tell you the Americas.
Okay.
So the Americas was known as Morocco, the farthest west, Al-Maghrib Al-Aqsa. That is why when George Washington came here, he was communicating with the Sultan of Morocco. I made a video about this, talking to an Arab who admitted it too. I made a video. He's Arab Palestinian, and he knew this. He went to Harvard. He said, like, that's known. Everybody knows that shit.
Where was George Washington in North Africa? When was he?
George Washington, I don't think he ever visited North Africa. He was sending a letter to the Sultanate.
Why would he? Okay, then. All right, then.
So why is he here? Why is he in the Americas writing a letter to the Sultan of Morocco thanking him for allowing him to be in his dominion?
By his dominion, he's referring to the shores of North Africa and not the United States, because in that letter he was talking. In that I know the letter that you're speaking of. The letter was written by George Washington just after the Constitution has been ratified, and George Washington speaks to that.
Where was the Constitution ratified?
The Constitution was ratified. Oh my God, it was 1792. I think.
Okay, but was that in North Africa or in America?
It was ratified in America.
Okay,
so go ahead, Sheldon.
Okay, so if you're thinking that the Sultan of Morocco is in North Africa, right? Why is he in the Americas? Why is George Washington in the Americas writing a letter to the Sultan of Morocco in Northern Africa thanking him for being in America?
No, you say you keep conflating dominion as including America. What they had already established several treaties, because there was an issue with the Barbary pirates in North Africa, and part of the treaty guidelines was allowing American ships to be in North Africa,
This is
aka the Sultanate Dominion.
This is before that. This is before that.
Hold on.
Again, you are conflating Dominion as including America, and that's not how I'm seeing and that's not how I'm interpreting George Washington's letter.
Okay, but that's
why
that's your mistake.
Why is he thanking him if he's not
because
there?
The United States was having an issue with piracy in trying to establish trade at the time in the Mediterranean, and by having a treaty with the Moroccan Sultanate, it allowed American ships and American troop ships to go into North African waters.
How is he thanking him? That's what I'm saying, for allowing him to be. And they were paying tribute to the Sultan of Morocco,
because that was probably part of the terms of the treaty.
So why haven't you paid?
And of course, a president is going to want to have good relations with another foreign power, especially when there's a treaty involved.
But that doesn't make sense what you're saying. The reason why it doesn't make sense is he's thanking him for being in his dominion. And if he's on the American soils, that means that's part of the Moorish Empire.
Being in the dominion, meaning him as in the United States being allowed to be in the territorial waters of North Africa, not the North America proper.
No, it doesn't mean water.
There's nothing to do with that. It's on the land.
You're lying with that. On the land, not in the water.
It's not in the waters, it's on the land.
Right, because even the United States had to establish an outpost in North Africa.
Artie.
You know what the game he's playing is that
either
you not know about the shores of Tripoli. That's part of the anthem.
The game he's playing is that Europeans are American. That's the game he's playing. Europeans were already here. Europeans didn't come from Europe. Europeans have been already in the Americas forever, and then we went to the Sultan and got permission for us to be here. You know, how you figure that?
I didn't say anything about Europeans always being in the United States.
That's how you're talking.
No, I didn't say that. I said that the colonists broke free from Great Britain to become their own nation states in the Americas.
Right, and they had to have permission to come here. You can't just break free and go to a new land where there's people there and they don't you establish yourself.
No, they didn't come here with anybody's permission. They colonized and tried to have friendly relations that ended up turning into a warfare with the natives that were already here. The natives lost and the colonists won and established permanent
This is why we're saying, Artie, you need to
come over here when they're scared of pirates. They can't just come.
Artie, there's more stuff you need to study, and there's more books you need to read, and not the books that you're taught in school and stuff. There's tons of books you need to read, bro. There's just a bunch of books that you need to read and study more.
How can they cross the water and come over here without permission if they're scared of the pirates and they're paying annual tribute? Like he just said that.
No, not the they're talking about hey, dude, they're not talking about the George Washington's not talking about the pirates along the American coastline. They're talking about the pirates in North Africa, which is an ocean away.
No, it's not. Have you been there?
Have I been to Europe? Yes. Have I been to Africa? No.
The pirates were all in the Atlantic, bro.
It's all in the Atlantic. What are you
all in the Atlantic?
Piracy was an issue in the Southern Atlantic and in the Caribbean and then in North Africa. The ones specifically dealing with the Barbary pirates dealt with the Barbary territories in North Africa, hence the letter from the Sultanate.
Artie, have you read the
Caribbeans?
Hold on a second, Artie. Hold on a second, Artie. 1 second, Brother Yusuf. Artie, did you read The Time Walker?
No, I've never heard that.
That's what I'm saying, that you need to read more. Because
what's the Time Walker about?
By Meredith Quinn, who is a so-called Native American, he breaks it all down. And he said the reason why when the Moorish Empire fell in Europe, it didn't fall, is that the Sultan made a deal with Isabella to sell this part of the empire, which were the Americas. And the third party to that agreement was the Vatican. And so once he sold that out, he got obviously sent back to one of the colonies or of Morocco, and he was arrested for doing that. Now, by the Vatican being the third party to the agreement, that's why they were able to chop up the Americas and say, Portugal, you get this piece, and Spain, you get this piece.
With the Treaty of Tordesillas.
And by them being the third party to the agreement that was signed before, that's how the Europeans were able to cross the Atlantic bypassing the pirates to get to South America. That's why I'm saying you need to study more, bro. You need to read more.
You're trying to tell me that this individual, this Meredith individual, saying that the Moroccans actually owned North America and sold it to Queen Isabella of Spain.
Yes.
Yes.
What and when was this? Because Queen Isabella is what? The well, not the first, was the second.
This is right before this was in 1491. 1491, if I'm not mistaken. Because
so right before Columbus's voyage.
Listen, this is what happened was the Sultan tried to take over Castile and he got caught and got put in jail. And Isabella is a Castilian, so he made a deal with Isabella to get out of jail. And he sold that part of the empire for 14 million Liviera, which is $14 million back then. And Isabella and them didn't have the money because they weren't that rich, so they borrowed money from the De Medicis, which is part of the Vatican. They got the money, they bought that part, and that's why that's why Europeans were able to cross the Atlantic. Prior to that, they were always being stopped by piracy.
Well, from the Medici family?
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, you think the Medicis were part of the Catholic Church or associated with the Catholic Church?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
This is why I'm saying you need to read more, bro.
Yeah, you're asking me to read a very, very different account of
it's in history. The Library of Congress too. It's in the books in the library.
Lots of things are in the Library of Congress. Let me tell you,
it's in the Library of Congress. But if you can find it,
what can we use?
No, Jeremy, in my chat, Jeremy, I'm aware that one of the Medicis eventually became Pope. I'm aware of that. I played Assassin's Creed, but.
Actually, well, there you go. Assassin's Creed is pretty much the whole pretty much part of the whole story.
So
wait, you think Assassin's Creed is real?
Are you familiar with Hiawatha?
I'm familiar with Hiawatha, New Jersey.
So you're familiar with y'all stealing our land?
I'm well aware that the colonists took over the land through conquest and other insidious means. I'm well aware of that.
All right.
How can colonists make laws? How can who stole some land make laws?
How can I come to your house, right? How can I come to your house?
There we go.
Kick you out your house and start telling you pay taxes in order to use this house when it's yours, and then I'm charging you to go in the fridge, and then I'm charging you to use your bed, and then if you go from the kitchen to the living room between 9 and 5, I'm gonna give you tickets. Would you let me do that?
No, but here's the thing. Here's the issue. Here's the answer I'm giving Abdullah and Sheldon about how can a colonizer make laws. It's that old adage of to the victor go the spoils.
Oh, okay.
Y'all didn't win. Right. You just said y'all didn't win.
They won. You're right. They won through force of arms.
We won.
You didn't win.
Yes, we did.
Then why is the United States still here?
Exactly. Why the fuck are y'all still here?
Because we won.
Artie, we appreciate it, Artie. We appreciate it, Artie. Thank you, Artie. We appreciate you being here.
That's a savage.
It's modern human history, dude.
Have a good night, Artie.
But that's the thing, that Artie, you need to find out more books. Get more books. Not the ones you learned about in school and all that.
What was the name of the work? Time Walker?
The Time Walker by Meredith Quinn.
Okay, I'll have to look that up.
That's one of them. Then you could read They Came Before Columbus.
You heard what he said? That's savage talk. This is what we do. They're savages.
You could read They Came Before Columbus as well.
No, I've heard of that book. I haven't read it.
Okay, read that one as well.
Yo, I'm not letting that go. I'm not letting that go.
I know you're not letting that. I know you're not letting modern human history go. I get that.
You're a savage, guy.
You're right. That is modern human. That's modern human because y'all all modern.
Thanks, Artie.
People like you, man.
Have a good night, Artie.
About people like you. I'll never forget about you, man. You're a savage. You're a savage. My son knows about you, man. He knows about you and your people.
I just want to apologize for my.
You know what?
People are savages.
Yo, you know what? At least he was.
Go home.
At least he was mad enough to come on the chat, because there's other people that talk crap in the chat and they don't want to come on. So, you know what I mean? So at least he was mad enough to come on the chat. But this is.
He has his agenda. He has his agenda.
Yeah, and I think what was interesting about this, and I'm pretty sure he's still listening. But I think what's interesting about this is
barbarians and we savages. You just heard what they said?
Bro, did you hear what he said? Yo.
Yeah, of course I heard what he said.
That's
we won. I mean, like that's you know, I mean, you know,
I can't let that slide. You know what I mean? I can't let that continue on when I know him. That's okay. Then, yeah, you're a savage people. Just say that. That's what he just said. We're savage people. We don't give a F. We don't care about none of that. Grant, she gave him the perfect example, and he's like, yeah, but if like basically if you can do it and kick me out my house and beat me up, then you can have it. That's savage, like. That's not how our people are. That's not our principles.
Yep.
We don't operate like that.
Yep.
Yes, that's savage, man. That's savage. That was savage. And to try to make it seem like it's legitimate. That's not legitimate. That's not scholarly. What he just said. That's not none of that. That's not any of that. And he's a lawyer guy? What part of scholarship was that? That was just straight savage.
Yeah, what part of law dictionary? What part of law dictionary was that?
I asked him, I said, have you read the Monroe Doctrine? No, I haven't, but I can sum it up. What? Like,
that's how they do.
Bro.
That's what, because when you get them trapped in the corner, that's what they're going to have to say. Say what it is. That you guys are savage barbarics. Yeah. Moors came in here, art and cult of civilization. Taught you. And you still is just, we're savage. Still is just, we're nasty. Can't wash ourselves. Still, they still nasty. That was just barbaric right there, man. That was barbaric. And I'm glad this is out. I'm glad we get to see it. Y'all heard them. Don't just be like, well, that's what we saying. The Moors don't have an army and all of that. No. They're barbaric. They're savage. And then they lied on us through history and try to label us barbaric, cannibalistic. We've proven that's them today, eating babies and stuff. Like, we can prove that today. That's them doing that. Everything that they were saying that we were doing, that's what they were really doing. They were really doing that. Still doing it to this day.
You ain't lying.
And that was right there. That was live. You just witnessed it.
Yep.
You ain't lying about
You just witnessed it.
Man, that's crazy.
I can't believe that. I'm looking at my son right now.
He really tried to throw us out the door. He said the Universal Declaration of Indigenous People was not ratified. Bro, are you serious? Like you gonna disavow the Aboriginals being here, being established way before any of
it. Told you. He was a savage.
Yo, it's
as soon as he said what he said, that just made sure everything he was doing, it made it clear. I'm a savage. Everything y'all saying, no, it doesn't matter. I'm a savage.
And you know what, Brother Yusuf? Now I understand why you were saying conversation's over. Now I understand. Now I comprehend.
Hear them talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, shut. Yeah, go ahead, Sheldon.
No, saying Brother Yusuf. Now I understand.
I just couldn't hear. My fault.
No, now I understand why you were saying conversation is over.
Yep.
Now I comprehend when you said that. Yeah.
Yep. because I was like, brother, that's not scholarly. That wasn't scholarly what you just mentioned. We're trying to deal with scholarship. We're showing documented evidence. And this guy's just gonna say, "Hee-haw," and I was like, what, that's that honky talk. I don't want to hear that, man.
That's that trailer park. That trailer park trash.
Yeah, come on, man. Get out of here. And these are supposed to be the people, the suit and tie people.
Yeah.
I'm a bum. I walk everywhere and know that was savage, like what he just did.
Yeah, those are people. Those are the ones who used to put you on the tree and stuff like that. Those ones.
Yep.
You poke them wrong, and then they start calling you nigger and stuff like that. You know, oh shit, they've been playing all this time. They've been playing kind. Playing kind.
Yep, playing. Like they don't know, because they know what it is. Like as soon as he got in the truck, well, all right, you guys are right, but it's like that old saying.
You went there quick fast. You went there quick fast.
Yep. And that's what it was. He was cornered.
Yeah, he got cornered big time.
He couldn't do anything.
He couldn't do anything.
I'm
he
like,
reeled himself.
What are you talking about?
You can't be a United States citizen and American at the same time.
He had to say America was Africa eventually, and we got him on that one. That's on live. That's on record.
Yeah.
And
He said
it. He refused.
That old saying.
Why is George Washington writing a letter to Northern Africa thanking him for being in his dominion, and he couldn't, because he's talking about, well, you know, the Barbary states in North, like, yo, he's in the Americas saying thank you for letting me stay here.
Yeah, no, that doesn't mean that. That means North Africa.
That doesn't mean that. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yo, did you hear that?
What do you mean that means North Africa? Yeah, because the Barbary pirates are in North Africa.
That's why he said the water. That's why he was trying to say the Barbary pirates on the water. Because he already knew he messed up. He knew he messed up when he said that. Like, brother, what? And then the pirates on the water.
Quick interjection. Quick interjection. Mark in the chat was saying, why are we acting surprised? We gotta use our energy different and all that. Go check the name of this. Cush Dey versus attorney lawyer Moor hater, guys. He was first. And then this lawyer Moor hater guy was in our chat, and then we brought him on here. So this is just the beatdown of the lawyer people. We're using the energy excellently right now. Others to all the Moors beating up these colonists all day.
So, you know what else is funny? So when I say the De Medicis, he says, well, that's in Assassin's Creed, and you're saying that Assassin's Creed is real. So you know that it's like, no, freaking jackass. Obviously, when they make freaking video games, they base it off of real events.
Exactly.
Stupid. Like, come on, bro.
So you know, that's how you know they're playing games.
So he said,
that's how you know they're playing games.
He said the Medici family. Yeah, so you know.
But he knows of. But he knows of them. But this is the thing, though. He knows of them only from Assassin's Creed. He doesn't really know.
Okay, just go on his videos. Go on his videos. You see, he has the freaking race car chair and all that stuff. He's not no damn lawyer. You're an attorney.
Yeah.
This guy's a paper shredder at a lawyer's office.
We should have said video game.
Right. So if you only know the De Medicis from Assassin's Creed, you need to study more, man. Period.
Yeah.
Where they get their diplomas from? They got their diplomas from Ali Muhammad. That's where they got their.
You should have hit him with the. You should have hit with
All that kills me.
Would you say, Abdullah?
You were not hearing you, Abdullah.
You should have hit him with that Saint Maurice, and who gave the Europeans permission over there?
There's another thing too.
Like we can go in circles around them about getting permission from us. And
I could have hit him with they found a piece of Africa underneath Florida and stuff, going all the way into like Texas and stuff. So right, but then if I had said that, like, I'm gonna say like, well, you think the people of old, of ancient times didn't know that? He's gonna say no, they didn't know that. So everybody in ancient time is stupid, and everybody in modern is brilliant.
Yep.
Right?
That's
So,
it. He said, let me answer that question about how can colonists make laws here. Let me answer that question.
He tried. He tried. He thought this was
we won. So I mean,
yeah, he thought this was Devon and Rootward and them Moors, them kind of Moors. We're not those Moors. We're not those
British
Moors.
one, when they go against, remember that whole Independence Day, the revolution, that's treason.
Yeah.
They went against their own government. That's not 4th of July, celebrate. No, that's treason.
He never could prove
that's treason what they did.
He's a citizen. He never could prove that. I proved it to him. You can't be a citizen of the United States. So I want to know how he a citizen of the United States.
Oh, that's that mindset of they're from this side. It's in their, it's almost in their DNA that they're from this side.
And the logic, he's from the United States, so he's an American.
So he's an American, right?
But and then he broke it down, Well, you know, Canada, Canadian, and you said that too, Kojo. Canada, Canadian, Mexico. So then, how do you get American from U.S.? Well, that's the generalized term that people associate. Yeah, that's the generalized term, but that doesn't make it real. That doesn't make it true. If you're from the United States, you're a United Statesian. You're not American. Because then by that rationale, then Canadians are Americans. Brazilians are Americans. Mexicans are Americans. Brazilians are Americans.
No, they're not. They're Brazilians.
You know what I'm saying? So how come the United States has the monopoly on the continent saying that they're Americans?
They're Americans. Ain't that some fraud right there? Crazy.
I want to prove that.
That's why I kept on bringing that up. I'm like, yo, but you're colonies. Since when did the 13 colonies become 50 states? How did that happen?
No.
He didn't want to prove that fact that the Washington like 10 miles.
Well, let's just do the
hold on, he's talking again.
13 colonies.
Hold on. Oh, hold on. We just wanted to pull this one up right now. Because last time they came on here, they were talking about we love you, Canaanland wars and all that stuff. Now they're talking BS in the chat. Root word.
Let me just.
You gonna block me, man?
You hate us now again? You used to
Y'all
love
gonna block me, man?
Now you hate us now?
All right, man. It's only been 2 weeks.
You said that we at the same time. You said we was different. Are you gonna block me or not? I'm not gonna come up here and be disrespectful. Since we different, I just want to see how we different, sir. Are you gonna block me and be scared?
I thought you loved our channel. What's going on? What happened? You got off your meds or something?
All my Caribbean brothers are the same as me. My Canadian brothers are the same as me. So that become from the
no Canadians over
I ain't gonna block you. I'm not gonna argue. I'm just saying. I'll say you, my brother, might disagree on shit. My Caribbean brother, we all know England is Europe. So that.
Sorry,
choppy, bro.
Allah says your stream is not working good. So FOH.
Your line is choppy, bro.
We'll get some service. We'll get some service. Come out that basement. Go get some service upstairs.
I got a question for you, brother. He said, okay, you said so they found pieces of Africa down in Florida. If they found pieces of Africa down in Florida, that would mean that the Jamaican Islands isn't Jamaica. That means they got another name, an ancient name, really.
Right. But it goes beyond that. Didn't Drew Ali and everybody say Northwest Africa?
Yeah, he did.
So if North America, if piece of Africa is found under Florida, going into Texas and Alabama and all that shit, doesn't that make Northwest Africa North America?
Indeed.
Okay.
Hey,
they don't have their compass. They not on their square, so they don't know. They all knocked off.
Yeah.
Wait, in the chat said, how come Sheldon's How come Sheldon's freaking?
What?
How come Sheldon's connection stronger than root words? He's in Germany.
He probably on that base over there. What part of Germany you in, Sheldon?
Huh?
What part of Germany?
We're in Germany and Bavaria.
Oh, I was out there in Frankfurt in 2000.
Oh yeah, Frankfurt's like a 20-minute flight from here.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful out there, except for the shot up and blown up airport that we landed at.
Oh, okay. But you know what? Getting back to Artie, I was thinking about something. Now, if he was smart, because I thought I thought you were gonna pick up on this. I'm pretty sure you did though. But I'm sure you picked up on this. But if Artie was smart, he would have said, well, my parents are Puerto Rican because he said that.
Yeah.
And he's got lineage in Portugal and stuff like that.
Puerto Rican?
Yeah, yo, you didn't stop.
Yeah. So if he was smart, he would have. If he was smart, he would have said, well, my parents and grandparents and all that are Puerto Rican, so that makes me American.
Yeah, I'd have stuck with that.
I would have stuck with that, but you know what I mean. He took he took the colonizer and we won type of shit. So I mean, take the savage route, man. That's
his ancestors. Yep.
How y'all walk him into that?
Yo, is Root coming back in? Yo, Root, come back in.
Come back in or what, yo?
Come back in, but with a stronger connection, bro.
You didn't do your meditation last night, huh, Root? Your connection is weak, bro. You're fronting. Root was fronting on that conjunction meditation last night. Connection weak as a mofo.
Yeah, no powers. He ain't get nothing.
No superpowers for Root.
He can't command shit.
Anybody else? Any other trolls out there? Or any Moors have any perspective on our little talk with our lawyer friend over there, Artie?
Is there any black folks out there? Is it any colored than African Americans out there?
Artie.
Yeah, shout out to my man Debo. Who else wants some with Debo? Who else wants some with Debo?
You better put your necklace in, Roots. You better put your necklace in.
Man, so my mama got me that check.
My mama give me that chain.
I didn't deboed his nationality, bro.
Yo,
stop. You wasn't stupid. You wasn't stupid. Stupid boys. This Moor said you can't be eating when these Moors are freaking on the thing because be food and juice everywhere.
Oh, man. Hey, come on, y'all. We ain't gonna bite. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can hop on.
Islam, Hope.
Islam, brother.
Islam. I just wanted to make I wanted to make a comment when y'all was going back and forth with Artie. You should have mentioned with him when he said how we won and that's why they're allowed to stay here and all that stuff, and why he had this delusional entitlement. I was waiting for someone to bring up the Treaty of Peace and Friendship on him. So he could look into that and realize that he's reading from a fake government point of view. And when Yins asked him when he was an attorney and where he took his oath, we all know that all attorneys of law take an oath to the bar.
Mhm.
It's not to the Constitution. It's to the British Accredited Registry,
That's why
which
he
he
said he won.
lied there.
No, but what you don't get is that he's been trolling Moors. He wasn't on here because he has some position and we're trying to prove some position to him.
Oh, he came on trolling.
He came on here to run through the gauntlet. That's why we had all these Moors on here.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Everybody
he tried
could get their
to.
little
He
piece.
tried to.
Everybody could get their shots in, get their 2020 stress out on these attorneys.
Because Brother Sheldon did say the letter to George Washington.
Yeah,
That
that's the thing right there.
Yeah, he was. And I liked how he put him on, that he needed to read more and told him about that book.
Yep.
They know not by being told.
Man, not by being told.
Yeah, but he got to follow orders,
Yeah. But we know they never do. The colors. Once you back that raccoon in the corner, the real coon. Once you back that coon in the corner, you start talking law and stuff like that.
He don't even know who his master is. He's a United States citizen.
Yeah, admittingly. Oh,
I know, and he was like real proud of it.
He is proud of it.
Right?
He said, "Why don't you call the FBI on me?" Damn, son.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because that's the it's like we catch a Klansman and he's telling call the Klan.
Well, they
on the Klan
they truly believe they belong here. They've earned it and ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to tell them anymore. I always, I come across a lot every day, and I try to tell them the truth, and they think that it's come off the wrong way, but they have no birthright here.
Yep.
You can't argue with a fool because they're gonna make you kill him. You can't argue with a fool because you're gonna kill him.
But
and I can't allow my emotions to get caught up in that,
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
And they will make me emotional. So, and you're right. I gotta leave a fool alone.
But Cujo, you're right because about him just coming just to do whatever. He wasn't serious because, like, if we're talking all this and I'm listing, okay, I listed off just two books to read at that point, and then he just bounced off or whatever. But if I'm listing, like, it came before Columbus, ain't no crazy unknown book.
Yeah.
He heard about it, but he didn't read it. So if you're really, if this is real to you and you really want to find out what went on, and about these books and you don't read them, then obviously you're just playing games.
Yeah. And again, they get pumped up because on their streaming platform, they're going against people in our chat like Rootword, Moorish Roots, and Devon Bay and Taharka Bay, and all these Moors who they ain't nobody to be trying to prove something to.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't any Moors to be. If you're gonna debate a Moor, you're gonna pick the lowest guy on the totem pole. Like, what's that say about you? You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's exactly what
I don't even have a channel, but he couldn't even debate me either.
Right?
It's the emotional thing for me when I try it.
We can't debate a mother. We know that. Or Yusuf, what you talking?
Yeah, I'm in my 50s, and I've been in the temple since I've been 19. So,
like, you can't debate something that's already been pre-recorded. That's the thing. Like, I don't see how anybody try to debate with us as being on a intellectual level, because we don't try to be emotional, because that's stepping outside of ourselves. You know, so when we try to be intellectual with them, we get a bad rep. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's crazy about the whole thing. You know, they go against Moors. You know, Moors ain't this, Moors ain't that. You know, like wow. So y'all act like the 14th century didn't happen. Y'all act like the 15th century didn't happen. You know, so it's like how y'all go against something that y'all know happened, but still claim to not know.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't.
They know.
And we didn't even touch the. Wasn't it the Pope that spoke out against what was it, a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, that spoke out against like the colonists and said that oh man, what did he say? You know what I'm talking about though,
Yeah,
right?
he did the civil order in 2014 and he came over in 2015.
Right.
Because he was like you said, he was correcting, you know what I'm saying, what had been done. But
Say that again, brother.
They said that he came to correct. He came over to correct what been done.
Hold on.
They trying to reverse a karmatic debt they ain't ready to pay.
Yeah, they trying to reverse it.
Yeah, and you can't do that.
Joe can't.
But
well, they can once the people are playing stateless games.
There you go. There you go.
That's the reason. That's the reason why he can talk crazy. Just like how in Drew Ali's time they were talking crazy. Because you have this element of society who is content in their ignorance.
You ain't never lying.
Oh, Islam to that.
Right.
You ain't never lying.
So it's almost, it's almost like a 10-on-1 or something when it comes to dealing with Moors. Not because they have more power, but because they're outnumbering us.
I agree with that one.
You know what I mean? So that which is again the whole thing with every Moor in whatever territory they're in, put out that energy to get with the Moors where you're at. That's the unity.
Indeed. And I could attest to that. You know, Brother Cujo told me a while back, shoot, if you're the only one where you at, shoot, be the only one. Eventually they'll come.
Has to happen.
And I've been doing this since then. And to be honest with you, 3 people didn't contact me here in the land of Oklahoma about, you know what I'm saying, the Moors and stuff. So, you know, that's a blessing to Cujo, pushing me to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I want to, thank all y'all brothers out there that's, doing y'all thing and teaching the right stuff and, keeping this fight going.
Honors to you too, mother.
Okay, and y'all take care. Thanks for letting me come up here.
Islam, peace and love, bro.
Islam.
Yeah, that's where it's at. For the people who are saying unity in the chat, that's what unity is right there. Her coming on here, not leaving, having to pay 500. That's unity.
He said, That's crazy. So here's a question. So what we doing, you know what I'm saying, being active, like what's the next step we can take to awaken the other people? Because it seems like, what we doing is not moving fast enough. And it seems like what the Europeans are doing ain't moving fast enough either, because they in a hurry to get what they doing. So how can we help with the uplifting more people on our platforms?
Well, I think it's just having the platform. That's they can't say that we weren't there to tell them. That's where I'm at with it now, because I ain't chasing people to understand their birthright and all that stuff anymore.
So basically what you're saying is just put the energy out there and just let it go.
You know what I mean? Be ourselves and keep it moving.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to be, like us or around us or whatever, they'll gravitate. You know what I mean? They'll gravitate. But to say, well, to get the Moors, we gotta have more lectures and do more, and everybody's gotta do. Nah, that ain't. Moore's been doing that, and look where it's gotten us.
Indeed.
That put all that time trying to convince these people all these years into doing for self as Moors. But you know, we get that that slap back of, well, you're not looking out for your people, and the Moors think they're high and mighty, and the Moors think because they're the sovereigns and we're not, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we sort of have to, you know, be there to uplift fallen humanity. But if humanity's playing, you know, they're in 2 feet of water, I'm drowning, save me, then drown them.
Agreed.
Because you're playing games. You're in 2 feet of water. Stand the hell up. What the hell you mean jump in head first to save you or whatever? For what? You're in 2 feet of water. You're 7 feet tall. Like, what do you mean you're drowning?
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Understandable.
No.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. I'm still freaking.
I don't know what other people be talking about, Cujo. You's a cool person. I'm gonna just be honest with you. I know we did this a couple times, and I ain't really had no disrespectful problem for you. I don't know what everybody else talking about.
That only comes from people who don't study. You know, that only comes from people who haven't checked themselves. They still think they know something. They think they know something. They just came into this yesterday, but they know something more than me. Yeah, right. Who the hell are you? What do you think this is? Stop playing games. Yeah, it really doesn't go like that. You know, not that somebody can't come in having more knowledge or whatever, but you know, there has to be something right with what I'm doing, because everybody who said I was talking BS, they're MIA. And I'm still here. So,
Islam, brother.
Where they at? Islam, brother Emmanuel. We're not hearing you. You're playing with your stream already? I think you look frozen on your thing, Emmanuel.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How y'all
Everything's good.
doing?
Everything's good, Moor.
Can't complain.
Yeah, it's kind of choppy.
Kind of choppy there.
Hey, if I'm choppy, well, I gotta
you're
do?
clear.
Try to
You're
come
clear
back?
now.
You good.
Yeah, it's just your video. Your video's choppy, but we can hear you.
All right, good. Okay, well, it's good that y'all can hear me. Now, hey, this was live tonight, man. Y'all had a good show, man, for sure. Talking Cush, what he did tonight was fire. We up 1,000 on that.
That was great. Yeah.
What y'all just did with Artie, I mean, like Buddy said, he when he said that they get the spoils of the other thing, and we still here, and they clearly see it still here. That's slavery. He recognized that we under slavery. He recognizing it, but not saying it. But hey, I had a question.
Yeah, more.
That I don't know if I'm misunderstanding on this, or if I'm just not well studied enough and don't get the full concept. It's on the status and on the Social Security card, where what's going on with this SS5 form that I'm hearing about, like, and people change, like, would it be smart to do the SS5 form and put that you an alien and not a part of the and not a U.S. citizen, or is that or is that or is doing that me being a part of the fraud?
The fact that it's their form already kills you.
Okay.
Because that's their form. And then what are we giving them information about who we are or whatever for, other than if we're putting them on notice of who we are? Other than that, me and them don't need to have any conversations. They're colonists. They're Artie. What Artie has conversation? I don't need no conversations with Artie unless he's saying bye, I'm going back to Europe.
For sure. For sure.
Leave
I mean,
it.
And then a lot of the things that I wasn't hearing, like if they are gonna say that they're U.S. citizens, then that means that they are subjects. to a certain extent, and they supposed to be paying tribute to us. But going back to the SS5 form, huh?
But if the people that they're subject to haven't paid treaty, that's why he's talking cocky.
I know, and I mean, you know, we got to get competent and not only set up our militia, but consular courts and things of that nature. It's a lot that we need to be out here doing, and even me, like I got to be more active, because at this point in time, hearing what Artie talking about, I mean, even our people be having that same concept, like defeated concepts. But going back to that SS5 form, though, in my mind, this is in my mind, and this is what I probably need clarification on, because I know where your knowledge extends. I appreciate everything you do too, Cujo, for sure, and the rest of y'all. But you know how like I'm already in a whole bunch of contracts. I mean, I know they're all fraud for the most part. Most of them is based out of adhesion and fraud. But wouldn't that kind of counter some of that? Could you look at me looking at that as a counter move? And me,
no, because
saying,
again, it's their form. It's not like you're using your form and saying you don't want nothing to do with whatever, or claiming you're an alien. You're using their form to do it. That's where the problem is.
Okay, that's the proclamation. So they just got to respect these proclamations that Moors is putting out there. Period. Point blank. That's what got to happen.
Right, and then if
it got to be all rich.
Not right,
and if what you're saying.
Yeah, and if you are gonna say, okay, fine, you know what I mean, I heard something, let me go check this out or whatever like that. Reserve your rights on it and sign it in your free national name. Don't put the name from some birth certificate or whatever on it. Sign it in free national name. Reserve your rights.
Oh no. Let's see with that SS5 form, it lets you,
right?
Yeah, that makes you let you change your name for free. You can all of that's for free. You change your name for free. You can reserve your rights on there, and you can put that you are an alien and not a U.S. citizen. That's why I'm looking at it, like, even though it's their form, but that's informing them even on their form that I'm not with them. I'm not a party to their jurisdiction.
Hold on. Say that again, Yusuf.
I think we're giving Walmart too much credit. You got to still remember, this Walmart.
Okay.
Every time you say the United States, that's Walmart. That's like
you right.
Like I was telling the Grand Sheep, like a bird's document. Oh, wouldn't that kind of whose paperwork? A bird made it? And we still trying to get that out of our head that it's not. It's a bird. Like, no, it's a bird. I don't care what paperwork a bird made, or Walmart, or Jiffy Lube. Like, none of that matters. We never question what Walmart is telling their employees. We don't look at it. We don't do that. And that's exactly how we're supposed to look at this corporate entity, United States. They Walmart. You're not worried about Walmart's books or what Walmart got coming in. We're not worried about that. We don't worry about none of that from Walmart. United States entity is Walmart. We should never be looking at them like they're something else other than Walmart or some ducks and stuff like that. That doesn't pertain to you. Period. Nothing. So as soon as you, like, Moors, if somebody comes up to you and says, oh, they got this document from whatever corporate entity, that's fraud. That's an illusion. That's not real. You should be looking at, like, where you get that from. Like, if it didn't come from the people of the land, that's not real.
Yeah, who introduced you to the SS5?
Say that again, Abdullah.
Who introduced you to the SS5? Brother Manuel.
I heard about it from Facebook. Some dude on Facebook, somebody shared. It was on like a Moorish studies page, and somebody
Have you
was
read
sharing
it?
somebody's live. I did the cat's name of whose live it was, though that was talking about that though.
Have you read the SS5?
I've looked at the form though.
Basically, they ask you to apply for an original Social Security card. Original. That's what they ask you. Apply for an original Social
Yes,
Security
I
card.
got it right here. As a matter of fact, I got it.
So can I ask you a question in regards to that?
Yep.
What about the Social
so
Security
that
card
part
is original?
uh-huh. So that right there is contributing to the fraud right there.
That's
It's all fraud. The Social Security card is fraud in de facto.
Yeah. So it's like, so now they go from a corporation to
basically
now they're trying to
that's just
establish. They're trying to establish a natural
that's
identity.
going with the fraud. That's me participating in it, basically.
Because they're trying to establish a natural identity with that original Social Security card.
All right, for sure. So that's so I got a clear understanding on that.
That's right.
And to counter that, I already know that what we need to do. Yeah, I know what we need to do as Moors, as being de jure government. So a lot of this misunderstandings and clarification can we got to get our government started up. Our body politic. That body politic got to be started up so we can have more uniform and more uniform information, and you know what I mean, more uniform procedures and things where a lot of this miscommunication.
That's already established. The problem is you have people going to Facebook to learn instead of going to the temple. You have people going to IG.
The temple here. I'm in Ohio territory. With the incorporatedly, it would be called Columbus. The one that we got here, I attended one. Me being early and me knowing about Moors, which was not that long ago, like 6 months ago. When I went there, this is early in. It almost made me not. I almost just threw everything away and said, "Oh, they on some bullshit." Me not knowing that the temple was compromised, and he was talking about shit like, yeah, we about to go do our census, and we about to all register to vote and things of this matter. And I'm like, damn, this ain't what I was hearing. This ain't what I was hearing Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey talking about. And then when I got to knowing the fraud, that's when I learned, like, damn, the temples is my temple here. Mission is Temple 30. Mine's is not right. So I don't have a right temple in my knowledge here in Ohio territory, close to Columbus.
Incorporated. But you're in a temple meeting right now.
For sure, for sure.
We're more Science Temple. All these Moors on here are more Science Temple.
For sure.
It might not be the building with the sign on it or whatever, but all these Moors, if they're saying Juali and they got Quran and all that stuff, enforced Constitution, they're more Science Temple.
No, I get that, and they didn't. I don't think they had a building. I went to the Zoom meeting there. It's that, you know, and this is why I build with you, and it ain't nothing against this. It ain't nothing knocking this, and and it's good that we can talk to people from distances as well. But one thing that I heard Brother Taj say, like, one thing that I want to do is I want to clear up some of these fraud ass criminal charges that I have on me. But if I go down there, me being the only Moor in my area that I know of, and it's just me, I'm catfish. I'm catfish.
You got it, bro.
Yeah, but
so I'm looking for Moors in my area, and I know, and this is something that Brother Jamal always say: if you can't find no Moors in your area, move. But I mean, I do got family and shit here, and on top of that, I just don't have the finance to just go up and I'm homeless where I'm at now, so I'll really be shit out of luck somewhere else. I at least have somewhere to take a shower here. I wouldn't have nowhere to take a shower nowhere else.
Right. So you do what you have based on your circumstance. That's just where it's at. That's where it's at for everybody.
Right now, yeah, I'm doing the knowledge. Right, yeah. right now I'm just doing the knowledge and trying not to make a big target on my back and be out here trying to go put in blanket quo warrantos and you know what I mean and fighting cases and going into tribunals and letting it's just me out here that I know of. It ain't nobody else really doing the knowledge out here where I'm at that I know of.
But see,
So
dog,
that's why I like building with y'all too, because maybe y'all can link me with somebody in my area that you know what I mean.
Islam, brother. It is Moors out there, in the Chicago area. I know two of them right off the bat. You could link up. I don't want to put the information on
well,
here.
where did you say you were, Emmanuel? Chicago or Ohio? Brother Emmanuel.
I'm in Ohio territory,
Ohio.
Columbus.
Okay.
I'm in Columbus,
In Ohio. All right.
Incorporated.
All right.
Yes, can you hear me? I said I'm in Columbus, Incorporated, Ohio territory.
All right.
You hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Well, any more is near Ohio, you already know. Brother Emmanuel is looking for a contacts. Put your email in the chat or something if you're near Ohio.
All right, I got you. I might put mine in the chat.
Any more is near Ohio.
What Brother Cujo, told me just, I'm saying, to feed off what he was saying, how he explained it to me was, if you're the only one there, just be the only one. Just stand on your square. Everything will gravitate to you. You know what I'm saying? If you're putting out the energy, sometimes you just gotta be you.
For sure. I heard him tell a good story about a dude that they put in the mental hospital, and it was just him, and even his own family was going against him, and he stood on the square, and he got released, no charges. I hear the great stories for sure, and I know that I'm gonna stand on my square, and I'm not gonna just say, oh, and live a fraud and try to live fraud and try to make a whole bunch of contracts and follow their ordinances, not their laws, their ordinances. That doesn't apply to me, but at the same time, I know that kind of make me a target alone. You know what I mean? I know it makes me a target alone, but that's what we doing right now. But if we had our body politic, we wouldn't. You know what I mean? If we had competent Moors out here, and I'm not putting it on no fault in nobody, because I know the Inquisition, the politics of it, where everybody out here miseducated or lost or just in denial and love and just clinging on to things that delude to slavery, like Negro, black, colored, money, which they falsely call money, I should say, and they love this shit. It don't matter what I say, I can tell a person every way and how that they not black, or another example that this is not money, but they will never give up those things, those names, and that idea they cling on to that deludes to slavery, and I just can't break the spell out here. I
No,
don't
it's
know
not.
how.
It's not for you to break the spell. They gotta break their own spell. You can't break their spell.
They being called a nickname,
Right.
and they don't
I
even
ain't
know it.
thumping it on them now. Yeah, I'm not doing the Moorish thumping it on them and smacking them across the head and telling them to wake up. But when I have conversations with people, when they ask me questions and shit, and then and then when I can explain something to them, and they say, "Oh yeah, that sounds interesting. Oh yeah, that sounds right," and then they turn around and do the same thing that they've been doing, is showing me that they under sorcery, really, and that under psychic attacks. That's what it's really showing me. Real
Yeah,
life math
and
these
they have to be
putting
the
on our
one.
people in these John D. Rockefeller and Frederick T. Gay so-called schools. And I know, I mean, like you said, it's not my job, but then again, that's what is up and falling humanity as well. You know what I mean? So I try, but I don't thump it on people though.
Yeah, that's all you could do.
Hello?
You know what I mean? That's all you could do. You could attempt to put it out there to those who want to listen. If they listen, they listen. If they don't listen, you did your part. Islam Wars. We'll just get some closing remarks if we got any closing remarks.
Fresh.
You can pull those out right now.
Yeah. Give thanks for that sheep. Islam to all the Moors, active Moors, Moors that study. And for the future Moors coming in, knowing and studying. Because I know I can see them coming in droves now. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a lot of people. You know?
Yep.
But I get, that's why I was just telling the green sheep. Noble Ali is the man.
Yep.
Like, I just sit, when you sit back and you be a fan and you just watch his works, you're like, yo, you're incredible. You're incredible. You know, he's our French Octogenarian French woman block.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The concept of race that's been around since the 17th. And Noble Ali, he's our new of that, breaker of that. You know, like, he's the man. Every day I'll be like, dang, man. And he's still kicking me in the butt. If I told you everything, you go back to sleep. You know, that because I'm still learning every day. I love when Brother Sheldon comes on and just reminds me, like, remember this? And I'm like, oh. Good day, Morris. Islam.
I rock with y'all, man. Good show tonight, man, on everything for sure. That was great. On your parts, on y'all's part, talking to the modern European, and on Cush's part, man. I appreciate it tonight, man.
Islam. Give thanks for being here.
Islam.
Thanks.
Brother Abdullah, you got anything to close out?
I do, man. I just want to, say thank you and peace to all the Moors, love to all the Moors, freedom, justice to all the Moors. And I just want to say gratitude and thanks to Canaanland Moors for allowing me to be on his show. It's always a pleasure to be on here. It's always a laugh. It's always some facts being thrown out there. To everybody that's watching, don't take everything so emotional. We just want y'all to think. That's all we want y'all to do is think. But I just want to say peace to all the Moors watching and all the Moors on here. Islam.
Man. Good, Brother Sheldon.
Yeah, I just want to say, it's like I was watching Cush break it down, and that was just dope. I was like really inspired, and to keep studying and to learn more and stuff. So, Islam to Brother Cush, Islam to you, Cujo, Abdullah, Islam, Yusuf, Islam, all the Moors in the chat, Islam, and to the Prophet, man. Prophet, like Yusuf keeps saying, the Prophet is the man.
Always,
every day.
Indeed.
Peace and love to all the Moors in the chat. Yeah.
Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Give thanks for the energy. Give thanks for the energy.
Thanks.
Give thanks for the 5 principles and honors to the Prophet, Noble Ali, for being the man. Islam Wars. Oh, and if you have anything, you could email canaanlandguide@gmail.com if you're looking out for anything, questions or whatever. And don't forget rvbaypublications.com, the online Moorish university, to get your knowledge up. Peace and love, Moors. Islam.
Love.